Hey guys, welcome to Night Owls. It is December 27th. It's Friday, right? I
It
get
is.
confused of all these days.
Me
Hey,
too.
and I got to start out, Sasha. I got to apologize. I think on my Gumroad, not my Gumroad, my Rumble, I showed that we were going to start at 8, but that was my fault. It's 9 o'clock. We started tonight. We always do these Night Owls kind of ad hoc, so I apologize for that. I had the template set up wrong. But it's good to be here with you guys. I hope you guys all had a great Christmas, and I hope you're having a good holiday season. I know there's still a lot of events. Session and I are going to be out for the next couple days, and it should be a good time. And we already got a tip from Drew. And he said, Merry Christmas to you and Sasha. I had Christmas with my family, but I realized I could use the based uncle for future gatherings. Well, thank you. I'm happy to be the based uncle here. So, yeah, family gatherings can always be kind of strange. So, thank you for being here and thank you for the tip. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. And hi, there's Umo. Thank you. Hi, it's good to see you. Merry Christmas, Mr. Archie, and Real Truth. It's great to see all you guys. And yeah, as I said, the schedule until the first of the year is a little bit in flux. Sasha and I have an event we're going to be going to over the next. We're going to leave, I think, a Saturday evening, and I'll be back extremely late Sunday. So I hope to have my show. Usually my show is on Monday at 11 a.m. I still might be able to do it. I think I just have to get up early and get back here to the studio. I haven't figured that out for sure.
For Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you
we're
should.
getting back late Sunday night, but then I should be okay. I'll just get up early and drive here back to the house. If you guys don't know, Sasha and I are in the process of moving all our stuff into the house. So we're still doing a lot of, it's still kind of in chaos, a lot of things right now. But we're getting there. And so, yeah, it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Our friend Brandon just got back from Japan. It was interesting to hear from him. We're going to talk a little bit about movies tonight, maybe talk a little bit about Christmas and some of the games, and maybe talk a little bit about what's been hot on X, or with Elon Musk and Vivek talking about H-1B visas and the abuse of them, and it's created a big firestorm online. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. And if you're new to the show, welcome. This is Night Owls. I always say it's my favorite show. We don't do this on a specific time yet, just because it's kind of chaotic at the moment. But thank you guys for tuning in when we do it. We'll
You,
probably get on a regular schedule later in the year, but right now we got a lot of stuff going on. But if you like my program, I actually reinvented. At the end of the year, I talk about reinvention a lot, and I always like to keep things fresh. And I kind of reinvented a lot of things that I've been doing. And I do the Ramsey Paul show now on Monday during the day at 11 a.m. and Friday evenings at 8 p.m. I appreciate that. Tuesday and Thursday, typically I'll do a short video. I've been doing a lot of historical videos recently, and Wednesday, Happy Homelands. And at Tuesday nights, also, we have the roundtable, either Tuesday nights or Tuesday afternoons. And I will fluctuate that just based on the audience. I do the Tuesday at noon ones for the Europeans, but everyone's happy to go. And I also changed, instead of being on Gumroad, I'm slowly transitioning over to Substack. I was on Gumroad and Group App. I still am. I'll still be on there for another month or two. But I encourage people to go to Substack. And the reason is it's Gumroad. I had a lot of issues with emails not going out, and it's just not a ready for prime time tool, in my opinion. They are more for selling products. Same with Group App, whereas Substack is actually built for content creators, for people that do essays or create videos. is much more robust. There's an app now. I know everyone has apps now, but they actually have a good app. I have it on my phone. And now when I publish something on Substack, Sasha, I get it updated immediately, like within 5 seconds. So it's really robust, has a lot more tools. I hope to keep in contact with all you guys. So I really do appreciate if you guys will subscribe to me on Substack. You have two options. A free option, you can get some of my daily updates. But if you can't afford it, I prefer to get the monthly option. And in doing that, you get the roundtable, special videos, and some essays. Like I think a day ago, I did an essay just for my subscribers. So that is worth that, and I really do appreciate it. And they have a monthly option. Hey, and Sasha, I already got someone that signed up as a founder. That was so cool.
Oh,
That's
what does that mean?
that was $240 for the year.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was, higher than most, but he's just really supported me. So I wrote him thank you. And I really did appreciate that. So whatever you guys can do, that I really do appreciate with that. And I try to keep the content fresh and interesting. And I think 2025 will be a good year. I'm hoping so anyway. And if you want to contribute in this stream, I appreciate it. There's a few ways you can do it. There's super chats on YouTube. Rumble, they have an equivalent called rants. I appreciate those. And power chats below here, the link, they have a feature where you can ask questions or comments. I appreciate that. And Stream Elements has a tip feature. In fact, what we just had, I read, was a Stream Element tip feature. So I really do appreciate that from Drew. And so I think I did all the kind of updates there. And Sasha, should we start with movie reviews? We see a lot of movies, or do you have something else you want to go over first?
Well, I wanted to just thank Wing IT Productions. I got your card today, and he sent us a gift card for AMC. So thank you. And we also got this Christmas card right here. And
that's beautiful.
We got a Snoopy card from Grandma, and I packed that somewhere. And then another guy gave a card, and that's at your house. But we haven't done it in a while. So, yeah, if you guys want to write to us, we have a P.O. Box. It's P.O. Box 8093, Fayetteville, Arkansas, 72703. So Paul always forgets to tell everybody, so I thought I should tell you.
And we thank you quite a bit because Sasha does a lot of business on eBay, so she's always at the post office.
But anyway, thank you to the people that did send us cards and things. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a good Christmas, and I do appreciate that. All right. Anything else, or should we just get involved with some of the movies we've seen?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. However you want to do it.
All right. One of the movies, usually we've had a lot of good movies. We've had a couple of stinkers, I would say, recently. And that's
two stinkers in a row.
Yeah. And so we'll review this movie so you guys don't have to. We went and saw this movie. I have it up on screen here if you guys can see it, called Baby Girl. And this was Nicole Kidman. And who was that guy?
I don't know. I don't know new actors much.
And as you see here, it was a high-power CEO puts her career and family on the line when she begins having a torrid affair with a much younger intern. And as you can see here, the critics gave it 77%, but the audience gave it 54%.
Because it sucked.
And usually I agree more with the audience. Yeah, and it was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. Yeah. I have a scale where I rate my movies from 1 star to 5 star, where 3 stars, just an average movie. It's entertaining, but it's not that great. 4 star, a really good movie. 5, a classic. 2, it sucks, but there's some things okay with it. I give this a 1 star. It was horrid on many levels. And I guess I'll give my review first, and Sasha can, then we'll just kind of discuss it. I was going into this not with a high expectations, but somehow, even though I had low expectations, it didn't even meet that. I thought it would be sort of like in the 80s, they had a couple of erotic thrillers like Body Heat and Basic Instinct.
Well, Basic Instinct was the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah, the 90s, but it would be in that genre. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But this one, it really failed on all levels. And let me describe two levels because I always describe like the wokeness in the movie, and it was horrible, horribly woke. And then on the technical level, on the wokeness level, it was it was really weird. And I told Sasha after I walked out of the movie, like, I may have to rethink my whole Groiper position. Maybe they're right, and women should be put in cages. After I saw this movie, it was so bad, and the movie was trying to be female empowerment and all that jazz bullshit, but it really just made women look horrible. They didn't intend for that to be the case, but that's how it came across to me. And then of course you had all the wise black characters around them, and her daughter was some lesbian, which she celebrated. It was it was just horrid on all levels, and somehow they were able to have sex scenes be actually just unappealing whatsoever. And there was no chemistry between the actors or the characters. I just didn't even want to watch the sex scenes, not because I found it offensive, because it was erotic. It was just, no, I don't want to watch this. This is not something I want to see. It's like looking at roadkill or something. And the plot was trite. You knew where it was going. There was really no mystery to it. And the whole acting I thought wasn't very good. Nicole Kidman was okay, but she was really kind of showing her age, and it just didn't resonate whatsoever. I found this movie actually to be offensive, that I would have laughed if I was alone. It was just a bad movie. So it was bad on a woke level. They had all the woke tropes. I guess the only thing that was good is actually it was a white guy and a white female that kind of hooked up. I guess that's one plus. It wasn't, her with a black guy that you would expect now, or some transgender thing. But other than that, all the other characters were woke. And again, she had a lesbian daughter, which they celebrated. And it was just devoid of any romance, or not even just no romance. The sexuality was boring. It was just mechanical. It just seemed very trite and gross. And it was, 1 star, one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. So I'd give this definitely a thumbs down. Don't waste your money to see it at the theater, and don't waste your time watching it, even if you can see it for free. I wouldn't see it for free. I would have to think how much I'd have to have someone pay me to see this again. It was bad. Sasha, your thoughts on that movie? And again, we're reviewing Baby Girl was the name of it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I mean, it was boring. The only thing that was good about it was they had a couple good songs from the 80s in it. Like, that was like the only good thing about it. They played In Excess and they played George Michael. And other than that, the movie wasn't good. Nicole Kidman has had way too much plastic surgery. I mean, she's not even super old. She's only like 57, but she doesn't even look, I mean, she's had so much stuff done. It took away from the movie. And I'm thinking, how does she still get work? And I don't know why this guy would want to sleep with her, because I didn't think she looked that great. She just looks like somebody that's had way too much plastic surgery. That's like Mosca said, he gets uncanny valley looking at her, and it is. So,
well, and part of the thing they were going for is like the dichotomy of a woman, that she's an empowered CEO, tough as nails, but secretly in her sex life, she wanted to be treated like a dirty bitch and controlled by this younger guy. And that was supposed to be like, oh, so groundbreaking, hearing all this.
It showed her more as being screwed up, I thought. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the empowered woman shit was like an afterthought, because she just came off as kind of like she was insane.
Yeah.
So, like, it didn't make women look good, or didn't make her look good. It just made her look fucked up, and she didn't know what she wanted in her life. And almost like a midlife crisis, but she's too old to have a midlife crisis. She's like, it would be more like a late midlife crisis. I don't know. It just wasn't a good movie. And then we saw Nosferatu last night, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
it was
before we
freaking
yeah
terrible.
yeah we'll get to that. One more thing I want to say is funny because this one scene I turned to Sasha and I said, this would be perfect right now if the clown, the evil clown from Terrifier, Art the Clown, would to show up and just kill everyone in this scene. That would be great because I didn't like anyone. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't root for any of the characters. And seeing Art the Clown just tear them apart would have made the movie pretty good. That would have improved the movie. So it was a disaster. Yeah, now we'll go with as Sasha said, our next movie. Sasha, you can take it from here on the next one.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. You
Okay.
you started already. Yeah.
Yeah, it was shit. It was really boring. I could
Could
barely keep my eyes open. Like,
well
and
go
it's like I don't
which movie was this? Could you say that to people?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was really slow. And I don't mind if a movie's slow if there's something interesting to watch. I wasn't all that impressed with the actors. And then I found out the woman in it is Johnny Depp's daughter. And I'm like, wow, she didn't really get his charisma or anything because I don't know. I wasn't that impressed. It wasn't a good movie. And the vampire was, I mean, I don't know if you want to watch Nosferatu, watch the old one from the 20s because it's actually pretty good. This guy didn't even look scary, really. And he wasn't sexy. Like vampires used to be kind of sexy. It was just gross. Like almost everything was gross. And there was a part where they killed a bird. And I don't know. I didn't like it. I'd rather watch Terrifier 3 again. At least that had some like good gore in it. Like this was just gross and like I said, really boring. And I didn't really like the characters. I guess her husband was the most likable person in it. And I guess Willem Dafoe was okay, but it just wasn't good.
Yeah, and here's just showing it. They had the critics 86%. I think critics are paid off or something. I don't
I do
understand.
too. Well, that'll probably go down more, I would think, because it's already gone down the audience score.
Right.
Because I think it was like at 89 or something, and it's already fallen. So I don't know. It was just not. It was disappointing for sure.
Yeah, my take on this movie was number one is a pretty long movie. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I don't mind a long movie if it's
Either
really in depth, like Apocalypse Now or some of the other movies.
Godfather.
Yeah, they can be really good. A sign of a good movie. And here's Surfing Cowboy. Thank you for this super chat. Nosferatu has always been incel Dracula. Maybe so, maybe so. I have to say, whereas Crybaby, was that the name of the last one we saw? I even forget the name. It's just so horrible.
Baby Girl.
Baby Girl.
Yeah,
There we go.
Crybaby had Johnny Depp in it.
Maybe that's what. Yeah.
That was a good movie, actually.
Yeah, that was actually a good movie. Baby Girl sucked. I had low expectation. Nosferatu, I really had high expectations. I was excited to see this movie based on the previews. I think a lot of people were because we went, was it the day after Christmas, and the theater was pretty full. It really
No, it was
was.
almost all sold out. The only seats you could have were in the front row. That's why we didn't go. And because Brandon wanted to go, but he's sick and he had jet lag. And so we were like, we'll go see the other movie because I've seen almost everything else that's out that I want to see. I saw Mufasa, and that was actually, I enjoyed that. And we saw the Christmas movies except for like Elf, which I hate, and The Grinch because I don't care. Because they've been showing, AMC's been doing a thing like every day until maybe till the new year. I think it is till the new year. They're showing like a classic Christmas movie. Like Monday's National Lampoon Day. Elf is like whatever day. The Grinch, Polar Express. We saw that last weekend because neither one of us had seen that. I like that. CGI was really, really bad, but it's old. I get it. I thought the story was good though. But so there was that, and then Moana 2, Brandon wants to see that too, so I was waiting for him so we could go see that, and there wasn't really anything else out, and I thought like, oh, it's going to be, like you said, maybe like a erotic thriller. I mean, that's kind of what they sold it as, but it really wasn't. There was nothing like scary about it or like, oh, this woman wants to get caught with her husband, and or without her husband. She wants to get caught by him to make her life more exciting. Or it wasn't good. It wasn't like Basic Instinct or any of those movies were actually good. So there wasn't much left to see. So then we went and saw that, and then Nosferatu when Brandon wanted to go yesterday. And it was just a big letdown because I thought it looked cool from the trailer. And we've been having pretty good luck this year. I only saw one other movie this year I really didn't like, and that was Civil War. Because some guy that watches you told us that was really good. I thought that was crap too. But pretty much everything else we saw this year I kind of enjoyed. I even liked Wicked. And that was a movie I thought I was going to hate when I went into it, and it was actually the opposite. And so I don't know, two duds in a row, because you think like, oh, we saw a shit movie this day, we'll get a good one the next day. I don't know, maybe 2025 there's not going to be many good movies, because I haven't really seen anything that I'm real excited about, except maybe the movie about that killer unicorn. That might be funny, kind of like a Cocaine Bear type movie.
Yeah, and my opinion of Nosferatu, again, had high expectations, and I think a lot of people did. And I didn't want it to be a traditional vampire movie. I get it. There's different takes on vampires, and I'm okay with that. There's a sexy take that women like, and then there's a more...
This wasn't sexy at all.
No, there's a more horrifying take, but there wasn't even a horrifying take, in my opinion. It, I was tired that day, and I almost dozed off in the first part of it.
I did.
And then I looked at Sasha halfway through, and she was sleeping, I could tell. So whenever you fall asleep during the movie, that's not a good sign. Again, the movie ran long. It was 2 hours, 10 minutes. I think they could have edited it down to an hour and a half to not really lost a lot. All right, I'll say the good stuff. First, from a woke perspective, I think this was the first movie I've seen in I don't know how long there was not one person of color in it, or they didn't have any homosexuals or anything like that. Did you remember any, Sasha? I don't think there was a one.
No.
So there was no wokeness in this movie, so I guess that's a good thing. And the cinematography was kind of pretty, I guess, because it took place in Germany in the 19th century, and it was always like snowing and cold, and it had a feel to it. I thought that was effective, but it just plotted. There wasn't the buildup of tension. Without spoilers, this guy's wife was having dreams of this vampire type character, and she made a pledge to him years ago in her sleep. And then she started a sleepwalk, which I found interesting because I sleepwalk sometimes, and so I think that'd be kind of a cool spin on things. But somehow they took all that, what should be quite scary, and just made it very dull and plodding. And not only did we fall asleep, but I kept looking at the time, seeing how long this movie, when it would finally be over. And it was, my rating again from 1 to 5 stars. I won't give it a 1. I give it higher than Baby Girl. I give it a 2, which is a movie that I was disappointed in and I wouldn't see again. And it didn't entertain me. To get a 3-star, you have to at least entertain me. It didn't entertain me. But it wasn't totally like offensive or devoid of anything. I would recommend, if you want to check it out, wait till it's on some streaming service for free. You can check it out on your own. And again, I'm not the type of person that's of the TikTok generation that everything has to be really fast and fast moving. So it's not like, I'll put you on mute. It doesn't mean I can be okay with that, but it was just plotting, and that was a problem with that movie. And it wasn't really scary, and it wasn't. I just didn't see much into it. I'd like to watch the original one, Sasha, again. I think I watched it a while ago, and I thought it was pretty good. But did you see the original?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Did you prefer it over this one?
Yes. And I thought the guy was creepier, and the original one was creepy. Yeah. This one wasn't. I wasn't scared at all. I didn't jump at anything, and it was gross. Like I said, the bird, the part where there was no reason for that. Like some of that stuff was just like, I don't know who they're trying to appeal to, but I didn't like the characters really. Like that girl, you're supposed to feel bad for her. I didn't give a shit about her. I think she was a good actress. And so it's like you're only in there because Johnny Depp's your father, because if not, you wouldn't be acting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just harsh, but I just didn't think it was good.
There was definitely nepotism for her to get that role.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Sasha. I get down on actors; they're kind of carnies, and I don't really have much respect for the profession in general. But it is a profession, and there's a big difference between a good actor and a bad actor. There really is. And the acting here was subpar. And well, I would go back on to that baby girl the same way. Although Nicole Kidman's a good actor, but um, if you don't have a good actor, it just doesn't come to life. And I just thought the performances were very flat. You didn't feel engaged. And in any movie, if it's going to bring you in, you have to kind of identify or root for a character or find someone evil. And when you don't really care, I didn't really care if we killed them all. Or in Baby Girl, I didn't give a shit about any of them. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And so I do think, and I wouldn't say she's the worst actress I ever saw, Johnny Depp's daughter, but she obviously got the part because she's related to someone
Well, it's
famous.
hilarious. On my YouTube feed right now, if I scroll down, it recommends like videos I might like. And I
Yeah.
swear they read our mind because I haven't looked anything up about Nosferatu on here. But this review came in and it's titled Boring Trash. Nosferatu sucks. Like, it's almost like they can read our minds or something.
Yeah, and again, it's not like just because I was, I don't, and Sasha will tell you this. In general, I'm not a big fan of, movies are made for people with ADD that have to go real fast all the time. I like a build up, and
Me
I don't
too.
mind a slow burn if
Me
it's done
either.
effectively. In fact, I prefer that, and maybe it's my age, but I prefer where they just slowly increase the tension. You really get involved with the characters. You get sucked into the environment. So it's not because it wasn't super fast paced. That's not why I didn't like it. It just didn't engage me. The characters or the storyline, it was, yeah, I don't really care. And I think, I don't know, maybe some people do like it. And again, I think the visuals were pretty good. It did also needed better editing. I think if they had a better editor, maybe that would have helped a little bit. Don't you think, Sasha? If they just tightened the movie a little bit?
Yeah, they should have tightened it and did something with the movie. Oh, am I still on? Like it's showing a black screen for me on my end.
I see you.
Okay, for what I look at, it's not.
Oh, no,
showing.
you're frozen.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
I
you
can
can
see
hear
your
me.
I can hear you, but it's just your face is like frozen.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
okay.
somebody in the chat was talking about Margaret Qualley, I think. She is Andy McDowell's daughter. But yeah, she was good in The Substance. That was a good movie. That got nominated for a bunch of Golden Globes. That was
Yeah,
a movie that was kind of slow at first, but I was like totally engaged in that because I thought the acting was good, the cinematography. I liked everything about that movie. I know a lot of people didn't like the end because they thought it was too over the top, but I didn't
yeah.
mind. I thought it was cool. That was probably my favorite movie of the year, really, out of all the movies I saw this year.
And yeah. Oh, I got one from a rant from Rowhouse. I take it Rams and Sasha will not be watching this movie with this actress. So let's take a look here. And I'll bring this up here. Oh, yeah, we were just talking about this. Let me just bring this up for you guys. And no, I won't be seeing this movie.
Oh, is it Snow White?
Yeah, let me just see
Yeah, I'm
here.
not going to see that either.
Yeah, let's take a look at her here.
And to everyone who hates when I win,
Oh, shut up,
the
bitch.
winged victory
Oh.
came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many
Oh,
of them,
God. Stop, please.
that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
God, she's so full
Yuck.
of herself.
I can't stand her. She's not even attractive. Her eyes are way too far apart. He looks like a space alien or something. Ugh. How is she
Yeah.
supposed to be Snow White? You know, I saw the trailer for that before Mufasa, and it looks like trash. Like the woman that plays the evil queen is way hotter than Snow White, and probably more likable at this point. That bitch ruins everything she's in. Like me and Brandon saw that Hunger Games last year that was also trash. But part of the reason it was trash was because of that actress. I wish her career would I wish she would go away.
Mhm.
But she seems to get all these like movies. I saw she's in another movie that's coming out, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I guess she fills the DEI checkbox because she's not white. Isn't she Mexican or something, or what
She's
is she?
Colombian, I think. I think they said she's
Yeah.
from Colombia.
So she's swarthy, so they give her, but I'm agree with you. I don't think she's particularly attractive. And what's even worse, though, you could get beyond that if she was like real sweet. And I would think that if she's doing movies for Disney, they would pick someone, at least publicly, that would pretend to be sweet, be the all American girl. And I think if she just had a better attitude and didn't come off like an entitled bitch, I think America would take to her better. But she comes across like an entitled bitch.
Well, that
And
girl from Beetlejuice, she's like, I don't know if she's Mexican or what. She's likable enough.
she is, and she's
Like, and it's
more
like
attractive, in my opinion.
she's
Yeah.
in that unicorn movie that's coming out. Yeah, I don't know if I don't really think she's all that attractive, but she's likable at least. Like this bitch is just unlikable. Just don't like her at all. She's one of these SJW people, and it's like you're only there, like you said, she's like a DEI hire.
Yeah.
Because any other time in history, I can think of people in the past that could have played Snow White, but nowadays I'm kind of drawing a blank on actresses now because I don't know that many new actresses, but it seems like you don't get a lot of really, really pretty white girls in movies much anymore.
How about the girl that played in The Substance, Andy McDowell's daughter? Could she play it?
She would be better than that girl, but I don't
Yeah.
really see her as Snow White. She'd be more like Belle or something. I could see her more as Belle.
And again, I think this is how Disney just sabotages themselves. I mean, just think about this woman, this Colombian girl. She gets millions of dollars. She's in a big movie, and all she can do is bitch and say she hates Trump supporters and she hates whites. It's just I just can't imagine everything handed to you on a silver platter and you act that way. How hard is it? Even if you are a total bitch in real life, can't you pretend in front of the cameras to be a sweet girl? I mean, they're paying you millions of dollars. That should be part of your job, wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, back in the old days, it was. When you had to sign contracts, you had to act, a certain way in public. And just to go on there and like trash the film that you're in. And, years ago, that kind of shit would get you blacklisted. But like I said, she's still in all these movies because it'd be nice if she got blacklisted and you stopped seeing her and stuff. Because I guarantee you there's better people to be in these movies than her. Oh, you got a couple super chats too.
Yeah, I'll catch up on that. So, yeah, thank you, though, for the rant on that. Holy Ghost, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Rams and Sasha. My New Year's resolution is to help India get more diversity. They need our help. Yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit about that later. And it's funny, the government of India is lobbying our politicians to make sure that we keep the H-1B visas coming in, which is strange. Why do they want their people to come here? It just shows what a scam that whole thing is.
It is a scam.
And real truth, do you guys happen to see Conclave? Ralph Fiennes is in it. Probably my favorite film of the year. Left-leaning, but relatively interesting. Have you heard of that, Conclave? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about it, but we never got around to seeing it, and then it already left the theaters.
Let me just bring that up so I can see what it's about.
It got good reviews. I think it got nominated for a bunch of awards, too.
All right, I'm going to bring this up so we can take a look at this so I can see this. And thank you for your generous super chat. Let me see here. I'm bringing up the Rotten Tomatoes site.
Yeah, I think it did well.
Oh, by the way, guys, I hope you enjoy over the break as I'm trying to get a little more professional. I'm going to try rearrange my studio a little bit, but I got a new camera. I hope everything looks good. And so what do you think, Sasha? Does it look good on your end to me?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks a lot better than mine.
Conclave. Here we go. Oh, this is about the Pope and the Catholics. It's a papal drama that get edge of the seat suspense. All right. Well, if it comes to Netflix or something, I might put that on my list to check out. So thank you, Real Truth, on that. It's kind of funny when we look at previews. There's some movies that's just if a movie looks over the top woke. Remember they had that one
Magical
movie.
Negro Society.
Well, obviously that one. Yeah, that was. I didn't see that. That was a disaster. Or they had that superhero movie. What was it? The three women, one
Oh,
white.
the Marvels.
Yeah,
I
one
think.
white, one like Hispanic, and one black.
That
I was
just
like,
looked
no.
bad. That looked bad no matter who was in it. It just didn't look good. I feel like Marvel's kind of lost the plot. There used to be some good Marvel movies back in the day, but I mean, it's got to be so repetitive. It's the same stuff. And I don't know. It's funny because like one of the big movies this year was that, what's it called? Wolverine and not Daredevil. What the hell's his name? Deadpool. And that was like one of the only movies I didn't see this year that was a big movie because I'm just like, yeah, I can't stomach it. And I like the old X-Men movies, but I don't know. It seems like that's why a lot of the movies were good this year because we did get some movies that weren't just superhero. Because some years it seems like that's the only thing out are superhero movies, and it just got kind of old.
Right. And I know Sasha was saying she really loved Wicked. And just to be fair, even though that the Wicked Witch was a black lady, you thought she was really good, right?
Yeah, me and Mosca both liked her. She has a beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one of those times where DEI kind of, the right always says, oh, it hurts blacks or whatever. This is one of the times it kind of did make you think when you go to see it, like, oh, she's just in it because she's black. But she's actually good.
Yeah.
I thought they were both good. I don't know. I just thought it was a good. I saw it in 3D with Mosca, and we both liked it. It was entertaining, and the music was pretty, and the woman has a great voice. So, I mean, I don't think many people could hit those notes.
Lucas T, Merry Christmas and subtards, yeah. That's what Elon Musk calls people that oppose H-1B visas.
Oh, then I'm a subtard.
Yeah. And Substance is my favorite movie of the year. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, me too. I had a list that I wrote all the movies I'd seen this year. Now I can't find the list. It's in this net somewhere.
Yeah, that definitely would be a fun list, and I would definitely like to see that. So,
but I was gonna see like rate my favorite movies this year because you got to think we saw a lot of movies early at the beginning of the year that you probably forgot we already saw. You know what I mean? Or you might think, right. Oh, that was last year. Like I think we saw Abigail was this year, but it was it was in February, so it was such a long time ago, and I don't know. That's why I have that nice list to tell me everything that I saw.
Yeah, we need. I definitely need to get back to a good movie because 2 bad movies in a row has really put me off movies. So I need to get a good one to get me back in the mood. So yeah,
I thought Mufasa was good, but I don't know. Oh, Flow was really good. I don't know if we've done a Night Owl since I saw that. That was a cartoon about this kitty, and he's in this flood, and he has the animation almost looked like watercolor or something, kind of like the Wild Robot had parts of that where it looked watercolor. Not the whole thing with that, but this kind of new style. But I liked it, and there was no talking in it. All the animals just communicated like animals would. They're on this like boat, and there's some dogs, and it's just them all trying to survive this flood. And I thought it was really good, and it got nominated for some stuff too. That was good. One of the better movies
Mike,
that I saw this year.
Mike gave a super chat. Have you ever seen the movie Windy City Heat? No, I haven't. Have you, Sasha?
No.
Is that a new movie or old? I don't know.
No, let me look it up. Windy
City Heat. If that came out this year, is an old movie.
Came out in 2003.
Oh, it's an old movie.
It has Bobcat Goldthwait, and I met him about 12 years ago. He played in Fayetteville at a comedy club, and it was cool. I got to meet him, and the person I was with brought up Hot to Trot, and my friend said, "Don't bring up Hot to Trot. He blames that movie for ruining his career." And what did this person say? "Oh, Sasha just loves Hot to Trot." I'm like, "Just shut up." But he was nice about it. And I said, "Yeah," because my friend had said she saw him on some interview say that he would kick people out of his home if you brought that movie up. And I kind of said that to him joking, but he had a sense of humor about it. He was cool. He was annoyed because so many people were just being loud and annoying while he's trying to do his stand-up. And at one point in the stand-up, he got up and he just kind of told off like the people in the crowd that were being disrespectful. So, but I've got a picture with him somewhere, and I've got him, I think, the stub signed.
Yeah, that's
So it was cool to get to meet him because I always loved him in the 80s. I watched a lot of his movies.
Yeah. Oh, and another movie we saw. This was a retro movie, but as Sasha said, they were showing a lot of older classic Christmas movies, and we saw National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. I think that's a classic. It still holds up, test of time. It was a funny movie. I love the scenes with what was his cousin Eddie? That was hilarious in my opinion.
Yeah, he is funny.
It was John Hughes did that movie, right?
Yeah, well, he wrote it.
Yeah, and
somebody else directed it.
That was a good Christmas movie. It's fun. I liked a lot of the stuff he did. And you said he died pretty early too, didn't he?
I think he was 59. He had a heart attack.
Yeah, he did like The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, right? All those shows.
Yeah, he at least wrote them. He didn't direct all of them, but yeah, a movie that we saw earlier in the year was Late Night with the Devil. See, that
You know,
like
I think
long ago.
I would have to say that was my favorite movie of the year.
Really? You like that
Yeah.
more than The Substance?
I did. Yeah,
I liked it. I wouldn't say it was my favorite.
I really did. It's funny because that in that movie, that show he was doing was called Night Owls.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we have that. We called this show Night Owls before that, so it's kind of funny. So everyone thinks we stole it from that. No, they stole it from us. But I enjoyed that movie. That was really cool. I really did like that movie. It was over the top and a little bit. I didn't really care so much for the ending, but it was a good movie this year. It stuck with me a little bit.
I thought Planet of the Apes was good too. We saw that, and I enjoyed that. You're talking about long movies. That was a long movie. Half the movies I saw were like over 2 hours. Even Terrifier, I believe, was over 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, we got $20. This is a thank you, very generous. I feel woke is dying and films are starting to get better. Another movie I saw was The Apprentice, about Donald Trump starting his career in his relationship with Ray Cohen. Did you guys happen to see that? I didn't see that. We saw that advertised. I was worried it'd be too anti-Trump. I didn't want to get into the politics of that.
I heard there was like a rape scene in it or something. I just assumed it would be all anti-Trump. And it's like,
Yeah.
I do have some issues with Trump, but I didn't want to go if it was just like, oh, people with TDS wrote this movie type. Now, if it was a movie, if I knew it was good and serious, I'd probably watch it just because I like biography kind of movies. But
I do think that your premise is true in this sense. In fact, one movie I saw was being released as some cartoon or something. You may know this, Sasha, but they took out the whole transgender subplot or something.
I heard it was a Disney movie, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was a. Let me look that up if I can find that Disney. Plot, because it was just the Disney cuts. Here it is. Let me show you. And this is a sign that they're starting to feel the pressure. And let me just share the screen here. I did a Google search. Disney cuts transgender storyline from upcoming Pixar show. A transgender storyline, there's no need to have that in a kids movie, has been cut from an upcoming Pixar, it's a TV series, a Disney spokesman has confirmed. It's from the series Win or Lose. It's on the streaming service Disney. And I think even Disney, which is super woke, they're starting to pay attention a little bit to the bottom line, Sasha.
Yeah.
And so I do agree with you a little bit. They're starting to pull away because people just won't see. I mean, we still, it's not even effective. Propaganda is more effective when it's a little bit more subtle. But starting in about 2020, we reached Soviet levels of propaganda that was them just coming out and lecturing to people. There was some games that came out that had, I forget the name of it. I want to say Elder Scrolls, but it bombed because they had that transgender scene where they're lecturing about pronouns or something. Remember that?
Yeah. You told me about it, but I didn't know. Maybe we should have gone to see the new Sonic movie. That got like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience loved it too. I didn't think it looked that great, but it's probably better than Nosferatu. At least they're kind of cute.
Yeah. Was it? I forget what it was. If it was Elder Scrolls, I forget the names. But saying it really it killed the franchise there. So, or is it Dragon Legacy or something like that? I just can't remember off what it was, but I do think they're starting to learn that stuff is not popular and
I
killing.
think so too.
Have you seen Mad Max Saga? Have you seen that?
No. I think I saw the old one, but it's been a long time. Not the new one, though. I heard the new one was pretty good. Or one of them. I think there's 2 new ones. And somebody told me that one was good, but I don't know.
Yeah. Have you seen any that Dragon Age they're talking about? That was at Dragon Age. I'm sorry about that, guy. Thank you for the... Yeah, there was that pronoun scene that it was just really horrific. Let me see if I can find that in here, because it killed the whole. I mean, they really lost a lot of they're talking about the they them and all that. It was pretty bad. Let me just see if I can find this here. Well, I'm not going to watch it, but what it was is they lectured the audience about misgendering, someone. It was just bizarre.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, well, that's what most people thought. And even if you're going to put that stuff in, you just can't do that so heavy-handed. So I do think they're kind of pulling away a little bit from that. So, yeah. So anyway, upcoming movies you see, Sasha, that interest you?
I don't know. Not just that one maybe about the unicorn. Like they find this cute unicorn and kill it or something, and the unicorn's like sibling or family member comes, and it's this scary ass black unicorn that starts killing people with its horn. So that's probably the next movie I'm gonna looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anything else. I don't know what else is coming out. I'm not gonna see Snow White.
No, I won't either.
I don't know about that How to Train Your Dragon. People are saying Astrid's black, and I don't see the point in why they remade that anyway, because the dragon looks exactly the same, so they're just doing what Disney's doing now.
Yeah.
Like, let's just remake everything live action. Why? You've already got a good story, just do something else.
Well, and there was a lot of, let's just do the same plot, but instead of white characters, let's make them black,
Or women or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm a little tired of also the whole girl boss bullshit. And
Me too.
And hopefully we'll get away from that a little bit, but that is still a big a problem in my opinion.
It is.
So we'll have to see. Let's see here. I was trying to see. There was an upcoming movie about some chimp that's like a voice.
That looks stupid too.
It really did. I remember that. And yeah. The other thing I just want to talk a little bit about. For Christmas, I want to thank Sasha. She gave me, I had this, I'm in a big gamer, and I threw away some of my old games. I kicked myself from years ago, but Sasha got me the old Starship Troopers Avalon Hill game. And so thank you, Sasha, on that. That was a fun game. And then she also got me Hannibal. And So thank you for that. I do like strategy games, although it's hard to get some to play with someone, but I do love them. And she got me the computer game Witcher 3. And so I've been into that, trying to learn because I didn't know anything about Witcher. I guess there's a Netflix series about that. I'm starting to watch that. It's pretty good. And I'm trying to learn the game. And I don't know if you guys played Witcher 3, but I've just started because Sasha got me the game on Steam. And also, what else she give me? Red Dead Redemption or something like that too. That looks pretty good, that cowboy game. So I'm looking forward to playing those games here.
Oh, you got a super chat.
Yeah, thank you. A good one. Rumor has it the new Dungeons and Dragons expansion has 172 sided dice for determining gender. I'm gonna doubt it. Yeah, that would be that is pretty crazy. I know D&D has gone really woke, but the thing is, D&D is just a rule set. And in my opinion, when I used to play B&D, we'd create our own campaigns. So you can just ignore a lot of the woke bullshit, if you don't want to do it. So you can use the mechanics of how you play the game, but in my opinion, you could give orcs, make them evil, give them a strength bonus for men versus women. And so you could do a lot of homebrew rules that makes the game fun. So yeah, so that's that. And let's see here. Let's see here. So, and let's see. Oh, we got a power chat. Louis Barrow, would you fight a 275 magical woman, Sasha?
Would I do what now?
Fight a 275 pound magical woman if she was threatening you?
Probably not. I don't want to go to jail.
I know.
I don't want to be Daniel Pennied or I don't want to be sat on and killed. Yeah. I'd just run away. I'd probably be faster than a 270-pound magical woman.
Well, she died of a heart attack. Someone, I guess, super chat. I highly recommend playing Fallout New Vegas. I would check that out. Thank you. I have a list of games. I got recommendations and I'm just trying to go through them. So, again, I'm playing Witcher 3 is a little bit older game, but it's really cool. It looks like it's going to be really cool and real depth and nuance and how they have the mechanics. So I'm looking forward to that. So thanks for that. All right. The other thing I just had here for us to talk about briefly, we don't get into too much politics, but Tony. Rams, if you could take the boy out of India, but you can never take the Indian out of the boy, would you agree the culture of India is not America? And you saw this in the software industry. Well, listen, I did my Substack today about this whole group dynamics versus the individual. And individuals are all individual. Well, obviously, you need to treat people where they are, not based necessarily on their groups. But that doesn't mean that we can't. I think America should be for Americans, and our policy for the government should encourage corporations to hire American jobs. And the H-1B visa plan has been extremely abused. It was supposed to just be for if there was a shortage of skilled American workers, that you can hire these outsiders, foreigners, to do the job. But they're abusing it and they're hiring them in lieu of American workers. And not just software development. You hear, Sasha, they're even doing this with janitors and all sorts of other positions now.
Well, I believe it, and somebody that is a janitor, part of the reason people don't do it, it sucks because you have to clean up after disgusting ass people, but they don't pay you very much. Almost everybody I know that does it, they have multiple jobs. Just about everybody, or I don't know. When you met me, I was working 2 jobs, and I've always done my eBay stuff too. But that's why they just want to get these people so they don't have to pay people. Because I guarantee you, more people would do that type of work if they just paid them and gave them benefits. But they don't want to do that. And the university tried to screw people over this year, and they got such bad backlash that they let go of it. But they were going to outsource the janitors on campus, and it's the only reason to work there because the pay sucks. is for the benefits, and then they want to take the benefits away, and then they want to know why people wonder why, oh, well, we can't get any workers. So they bring all these people over here from the third world to do it because they all live in a house together. You know, they don't have the bills that we have because they get subsidized, and it's bullshit. And
Yeah.
they want to do that with everything, though. It's not even just that. I've seen nursing that was part of that. What was the thing that Trump shot down? The transatlantic partnership or whatever. The TP was it TPP or
I
you
think
know what
so.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
And I'd seen that was something that was supposed to hurt like nursing and other things you'd think like, hey, we can't outsource, but even then they would rather bring people over from like China or India or anywhere but America or Europe because they don't want to pay us.
Yeah. And this
That's all it is.
and this idea that he keeps saying, oh, we can't win unless we import these people.
Bullshit.
I know. This country was 90% white, and we were the top of the world. Silicon Valley was created by all white men. It was. And now the idea that you have to have a bunch of Indians. I'm like, well, if they're that geniuses, why don't they create a wonderful first world country in India? Why don't they do it there? And it's such a scam. And we have a right to our homeland, even if they did improve the economy, which I don't agree because
I don't think they do.
no, well, they don't because first of all, there's the level of fraud is outside. I mean, you can't even. I know Americans lie and deceitful too, but not to the degree. It's like comparing a minnow to a whale. That whole culture is just so dishonest, and they lie on their resumes, and it is. I when I had to work with them, horrible experience, and it's you have to redo the code. And so it isn't a benefit. And Canada, they went down that road. You know, supposed to get to just the top of the people. Now it's changed their whole country, and they've lost their homeland. Basically, it's really sad what's happening. It hasn't made Canada a powerhouse. It's put them in debt.
Well, how does it make the country better? Because all it does, you see this even here because they're starting to do that around here because of Walmart, like Bentonville area. It used to be like 90, God, it was over 90% white. Now you go to the Walmart there, and there's a lot of Indians there. And Mosca lived in an apartment complex, and he said that they were taking over the complex because Walmart brings them in for the cheap labor too. So how the hell, oh, we can't survive without them, really? Because we were doing an awful good job before. And how do they make things better? Because all they do is compete. We have to compete for housing. Forget about the jobs, not just to mention the housing. Like, oh, there's a housing crisis in Northwest Arkansas. Yes, because you retards, flooded all these people in from all these shitholes. And then we can't afford to live here anymore. And there's not enough housing. And so let's chop down like forests and trees to make room for all these people. Why? Why do we need them? All it does is clog up traffic, makes everything expensive, crowded. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of tired of it. Like, why do we need these people here? And if you say, I don't want them here, oh, that's just so mean and racist. And no, I don't want anybody here. I think we're full. Why do they have to come here? Like, what do they add? They're taking jobs away from people that, like you said, you did that. I mean, who the hell do they think did all this shit before? Because you constantly say, I'm sick of Elon Musk and I'm sick of Vivek. And he's a total fraudster. And Coulter was right about him. And it's like, we should have listened just because he said a few base things. But it's probably all a lie just to try to get, because he wanted to be president and he'll play along with whoever. And same with Elon, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he just wants all that cheap labor. That's all they want. They don't really care about Americans. Like, they're billionaires. They have they're so out of touch with reality. It's unreal.
They are.
So screw these assholes.
And I mentioned today on X, the old very rich people, billionaires at the time, like Henry Ford and Walt Disney, they were rich, but there's kind of a social contract between the very rich and the normal Americans, where they were kind of protective, and they actually loved Americans and America. They didn't want to replace us. And see, these people, they don't really see countries. They just see this is all like a big shopping mall. And just replace. So we have to compete with other 6 billion people in the world, and it brings everyone down. And it's not even theoretical anymore because we see what happened to Canada. They had mass immigration, and they weren't Haitians or they weren't, poor people from Guatemala. They were Indians, and it's really brought the country down in Canada. I did a poll and asked just Canadians to vote on. And I know the poll's not scientific, but I said, has all these Indians made Canada better, worse, or the same? It was over 90% worse. and it is horrible.
Well, there's some of the rudest people. When I used to work at the university, we had this thing called Friends of India, and they were banned everywhere on campus. And I want to say the student union finally banned them. Rudest people ever. Having to deal with them, they were obnoxious. Everybody hated them. I mean, there was a reason they were banned from everywhere. And it's like, I don't want to live in India. I'm sure there's a few nice Indian people. There are. I've known a few Indians, but I don't want, like, let them stay over there. If it's so great, why are they all coming over here? If India is supposed to be so wonderful and they're all these geniuses, well, then what the hell? And I don't buy that anyway. Brandon said he used to work at a hotel and it was run by an Indian. And he said the guy that ran it was pretty smart, but he said his idiot brother was kind of like the in charge. He said the guy was an idiot. And he said that they all hire their stupid family members for everything. And then they don't. If we already had to compete with all these other people, now there's we got to bring them in halfway around the world now. I mean, what the hell?
And that's the lie about, there's a shortage of tech workers.
No,
there isn't, because I saw story after story that we're talking white guys that go through top colleges, get a 4.0 GPA with honors, and they can't even get an interview. And all these Indians are just hiring their cousins, right, with fake degrees. And this is what happens. And this is why the quality of software has gone down, is pulling the country down. And again, I have nothing against Indian people. God bless them. Let's make India great. Go back to India. Show us how brilliant you are. Make brilliant companies over there. Why do they have to come to this country? And
they're kind of using them too. I don't care about them at all. But it seems like if you're somebody that's on the left or the right, that's like these, because I see so many of these dipshits on the right that are like in the MAGA right that are all for this. But just as long as it's legal, you see so many idiots that are all for that. And great, now I forgot where I was going. Oh, you would think you would want, because they're basically indentured servants. They come over here and it's like you have to work for a certain wage for so many years, and they keep them here. You would think if you cared about people, like on a humanitarian level, you wouldn't want to do that anyway. You kind of go, well, they're kind of exploiting these people.
They are.
And they're hurting the people that already live here that can't get jobs doing this stuff. Right. So how is this good for anybody except these rich cocksuckers like Elon Musk and Vivek, because they want the cheap labor. They don't give a shit about us. They're just like everybody else. They're rich. They don't care. They want cheap labor. That's how they see That's how they see these Indians, as cheap labor. And we're lazy. I've seen so many people say that I can't get like white people to do. Oh, but fuck off. Like, yes, you can. I've worked in those jobs like other people, not IT, but I've worked in like, I have friends that work in like construction, and then I've done custodial and housekeeping and food service. I mean, the list goes on and on. And there's plenty of white people that do these jobs.
Your dad was a roofer.
And his parents were migrant workers. They used to go all over the West Coast and pick potatoes or apples or whatever it was. And my dad said there were like a lot of Mexican kids and stuff that they used to work with back in the day. So there still was some of that back in the day, but there were white people that did too. Well, my sister did it once. I knew a guy that's what he did for his living, and my cousin does it. So there are people that do it, but once again, it's one of those things where they don't want to pay people. And like most of those jobs, you have to travel, because I've even thought in some ways it might be cool to do that, because you do get to travel, but you have to have a good vehicle, because you're probably going to be living in it when you go to those places. Like my sister lived in her truck. You have to have somewhere to camp. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where is like the money really worth it? Because she made okay money when she did it. She did like tree planting back, but this was like in the late 90s. She made decent money, but then they worked, she said, from like sun up to sundown. Mm-hmm. And then, and it's hard work. And yeah, a lot of people are lazy. That doesn't mean I want to bring the third world in to do this stuff, because I think people would do it if you paid them a little more. So that's part of the problem.
Yeah, and the whole point, they're in violation. I think the CEO should go to prison, because the idea of H-1B, it was sold to the American people. Are just temporary workers that we're going to get in if we don't have enough American workers to fill the job. So you got to try to get American workers. Then if you can't, you bring these people in. That's not how they're doing it. They're lying about it. And these people need to go to prison for that. Lucas T, how can Elon still be a top administrator under Trump if he's calling MAGA imbeciles and contemptible fools and racist? Yeah, because Trump in 2016 was against H-1B visas. I don't know if he still is, but he was at one time. And uh, Trump has not, since this happened on Christmas Day, this whole blow up on Twitter or X because of this. And Elon, he got ratioed. He got a lot of
I
pushback.
saw. I
And
saw.
he got mad and started to ban people and everything. He had a fit. But people are tired of it. Maybe he's just ignorant because he's super rich. He's isolated. He doesn't
Yeah,
see
that's
how
what
it
I
really
said.
input.
Because he
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit. He sees people as workers. Like he's constantly, the birth rates are down everywhere. And it's like, you can't have infinite growth. I'm
No.
not saying people shouldn't have kids, but this whole like, everybody's got to have like 10 kids. If you did that, eventually there's not going to be room for anybody. We're going to be crammed together. Because he
And
doesn't give a shit because he's rich.
and he says we need all these people to win. But what does
Mm-mm.
win mean? I mean, I consider winning for America, and I put it on X, is to have safe neighborhoods, to have people that share my values, have the same history as me, same language, the same customs, affordable living, a clean environment. That's winning to me. It's not turning America into India.
Well,
Even
it
if,
probably means winning for him because he's rich and he can
Mhm.
exploit these people and screw American workers. Why should he give a shit? Like he's a billionaire. It's
Yeah,
not going to affect him at all. He can go somewhere else. He's probably not even around. I mean, he probably lives in some gated area too. When does he ever deal with like real people? Probably never.
well, I mean, I'll give him this. I think he did a lot of good things, and he said a lot of, uh, during. I said this though because he does him and Vivek. You remember I was a big fan of Vivek and Elon
Yeah,
Musk because they allowed more free speech. They were against DEI and all this type of stuff, and
right.
they're really against illegals, and that's good. But it was I I said, and I believe this, if what happened on Christmas Day happened before the election, Trump would have lost.
I
He
think so
really would have.
too.
I mean, you can't call Americans to say they're stupid and lazy, and that's what basically they did. You did that, you're going to lose.
Well,
And
and it's insulting because people do work hard.
well,
This
and
acting like everybody's lazy. Yeah, there's lazy people of all races for sure, but to act like, oh, Americans are just so bullshit. Americans are hard workers. Like, my God, my friend Brandon works like 2 jobs and he's almost 50 years old. And my other friend works in a cemetery. He used to dig graves all the time. And then to say, oh, you guys are lazy because you don't want your country to turn into like India.
yeah, I don't want Fayetteville to turn into Calcutta. So, oh, that makes you racist.
Yeah,
No, I don't want poop in the streets. I don't want these slums. And but he doesn't, you're right, because these rich people, they never have to live with it, right? They never
no,
have
they
to
don't.
experience. And
No,
so, um,
they're not
and,
crapping on their sidewalks. Like they'll come in
no,
like a neighborhood like mine and destroy it. And then you don't have money because people like in our income, they don't always have money just to get up and move,
here,
because it's expensive.
yeah, and this is, KMax sent this one, and thank you. Oh, not KMax, Royal House, Rant. Rams, this was a tweet that Elon Musk that got him in the most hot water. And let me just show you. It actually was I think this, yeah, this is, uh, I, you know, well, let me back up a little bit. I'm going to show this, but, well, no, I'll go ahead and show it. Then I'll do my commentary because
All
I want
right.
to say something about this, about, talking about stuff. Elon Musk, this is the media. Elon Musk posted just Americans are too, and I'll have to say this word you too because he said retarded to do skilled jobs. And I what in the hell, what the fuck? If you're supposed to be such a smart guy, Sasha, if you're in the public light and you're trying to do Dodge and you're trying to get through the Trump's agenda, is it really smart? Because he's saying that Americans are too fucking stupid. Well, are you really that smart? And by the way, Elon Musk got a lot of his money through tax benefits and stuff, and
Hmm.
subsidies. But are you really that smart if um, um, you're saying something like that?
No.
And The problem with Elon Musk, I don't think he quite understands what would have happened if Trump lost. He would be facing losing his entire industries. The EU would be after him legally. They were, and the Kamala administration would be looking to put him out of business. So the people, the MAGA people loved him and they love Vivek. And for him to turn on normal working Americans saying, oh, we got to bring in all these Indians to take your jobs because you're too lazy and stupid. That's just, I don't understand that. And now, Vivek and Elon Musk were trying to do that Dodge thing, the Department of Government Efficiency, which was kind of a meme anyway and controversial. You know how much they've hurt that whole effort now?
Oh, I know. Well, they're hurting Trump with all this.
They have.
Like, I wonder what is he going to come out and say anything? They better start disavowing quick because Trump's not even in yet and people are pissed.
He's almost, and I said that, yeah, Trump, they've left these supposed geniuses have been too stupid, and I say they've been stupid. I mean, behind the scenes, they can say one thing, but you can't call American workers lazy and stupid and be tied in politically to the incoming president without there being a blowback.
Right,
and that's going to come, and there's going to come back on Trump. So Trump has a shit he's got to clean up now because of Musk and Vivek did on Christmas Day. And if Trump doesn't clean it up, then his whole agenda is DOA. It's dead on arrival. And it's because and it's just not me, it's just not extremists. People like Mike Cernovich are just like attacking how crazy this was. I would say of the MAGA people, 80% are opposed to what Elon Musk and Vivek said.
I've seen a few, but I thought that guy, what's his name, Cernovich, I thought I saw him kind of defending that shit.
No, he wasn't. He was attacking him on that. He was being nice about it, but he was attacking it.
Because I saw some of these other
Jack
people.
Poso is against it. There's been a lot. There's been a couple that. Well,
I saw Ann Coulter, but of course she's going to be against it because she's been preaching about this shit for years. So
right, and
I was no surprise to see her against them.
Yeah, and even if he would have done all Elon Musk had to do is saying, yeah, we're Americans, we want to focus on American workers, and it better be extremely rare cases. We're talking less than 5,000 people a year that are going to come in on H-1B. We're going to really limit it, and we got to have extreme documentation to do this. And yeah, we'll still allow some people in and whatever, but we are going to focus on making sure Americans get these jobs. I mean, how would that hurt him? He's already super rich, right? I mean,
well, how much money does a person need? Look, I get it. Everybody wants to be rich. Everyone says, I like having money. Everybody likes money. But there comes a point, it's like, you're never going to spend all of it.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, if he wants to leave his kids something, you still have more than enough to do that. It seems like he should be starting businesses all over the fucking U.S. if I had his money. You could be really helping people in the Rust Belt and places that got kind of left behind instead of, oh, well, screw those people. We're just going to bring them from India. What about these kids that go into debt to get degrees and they can't get jobs? You couldn't hire some of those guys? Come on.
Could you imagine what a cool mega victory this would have been on Christmas? Let's just say an alternate timeline. Elon Musk and Vivek, they said both. And Vivek says, hey, I know I'm Indian ancestry, but I'm going to prove to you I'm an American first. I want Americans. I don't care if you're black, white, Indian, Asian. If you're American, I want Americans to get the jobs first. I want to do that because this is my home. We want to make America prosper. And Elon Musk says, America's been very good to me. I'm an immigrant from South Africa, and I want to help Americans to be great. And I want them to be good jobs. I want men and women that go through these tough degrees, they need to be considered before some Indian that, yeah, it's cheaper, but we shouldn't make it cheaper. There should be tariffs on that. So if you're going to outsource an American job, the company should be hit with a tariff at that point to prevent that. And it's nothing against Indians or any other country. If you guys are brilliant geniuses, and do it in your own country, right? That's what it should be. He could, my God, Vivek could be looking as a contender for president in 2028. Vivek's just screwed his presidential ambitions now.
He did. I don't think anyone will vote. Somebody said that. I saw somebody on X said that. They said,
Yeah.
don't forget this shit if he tries to run in 2028. And
It's
it's like,
just,
yeah, don't. I would never vote for that guy. Like, no way.
yeah, and it's kind of ironic. You call Americans stupid and lazy, and then you do the most stupid thing I've ever seen a politician do, almost in my lifetime, really. And it's like you have no sense not to say stuff like that. Even if you believe that, you shouldn't be saying that. So they went from people almost like worshiping Elon Musk and
So
Vivek. I
that,
mean, a lot of people just loved him. I mean, they were just like
yeah,
all excited. They went from that, they threw away all their goodwill in an instant. And I'm like,
before
that's
Trump's even in
stupid.
office.
That's stupid. I mean, what are you guys doing there? It's like, I mean, it's just basic, even if you don't believe it, it's just basic PR. You don't do that. And so, yeah, I mean, so they've already screwed Dodge then because no one gives a shit about that bullshit anymore.
Well, what are they going to do? Because every time I hear any right wing talking head talk about cutting waste, the first thing they always bring up is Social Security and entitlements. They won't talk about the military and what a bloated waste
Mhm.
that is. They won't talk about these endless wars. They don't talk about us giving money to Israel and all these other countries. It's always Social Security. Yeah, we paid into that. Like, give us our money back then. Like the people that have been working a long time. It's not, I mean, that's what you guys want to cut. You want to take what the American people paid into. They never talk about anything else. So I'm sure that's what they would have done. Oh, how can we screw these people over and take their Medicare and their Social Security away? Because it's like they
Yeah.
want to flood the country with the third world. How about put the spigot on that? No, we want more of it over here to compete with you guys and make life harder already.
Yeah. And
Don't we crowded enough? Don't we
how's
have
that
enough
help?
freaking
How's that
people
going to
here?
help with housing prices? How that's going to help with
No,
our
it's going to
medical
make it
system?
worse.
It's
Worse.
just incredible. How's that helping with the environment? It's just crazy. KMax, $10. Thank you. Is it true Laura Loomer lost her subscriptions, a check mark, and got locked up by Elon purely for tweeting questions at him? Loomer cannot even question it. Elon said he wanted free speech. Yeah, I don't know if it did look like that was the reason. I don't know for sure, but she was really attacking this, and Elon was complaining, "Oh, you're just trolling," and then she lost it
Trolling.
all. Yeah, they don't even know what the word
So if
troll
you're
means
not,
anymore.
so if you're not cool with like your country being overrun, then you're trolling.
That's how they're really defining that, and it's
You, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you got a chat before. Did you read the one about Trump?
oh, let me get to that here just a second. Sorry
Because
about
it
that.
was
I missed it.
earlier. I don't want us to
Yeah,
miss it.
yeah. Let me get this. It was a super chat.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can
one
read it
sec.
if you would like.
Yeah, here it is. You can read. Go ahead. I got it up.
Oh, well, if you have it up, you can read it because now I got to find it again.
Oh, okay. Real truth. Well, here's the question. Does Trump care about Americans or is he just a narcissist con man? Um, okay, I'm going to be a little heretical here. I don't know what the fuck Trump's doing anymore. And he's acting very, I mean, he's always kind of been a bull in a china shop, and I do like that. And I don't regret voting for him over Kamala because with Kamala, we'd still get the H-1B plus the illegals, right? So this is an
Right.
improvement. But Trump has just gone down a weird path about stuff no one really voted for, like Greenland and Panama Canal, and he's trolling Canada. I mean, it's funny, but it's what the hell? And these are big issues, and
Well, I
Trump.
heard he was walking the dreamer thing back kind of too, like, oh, well, we'll look into that. And it's like, no. I'm kind of like Ann Coulter. I want them gone first.
Yeah,
Like, we can leave the criminals here over them because they act so entitled that, oh, we have to be here. It's not our fault your family smuggled you over here. And you
no,
act so entitled about it. Like, no, you need to go. I don't give a shit. Go home. We
yeah,
can't do that. Hell, Brandon just came back from Japan. He couldn't just go over there and be like, oh, I'm going
no.
to have a kid over here and I'm a Japanese citizen. I don't know why America has to put up with this crap.
Yeah, they got to get rid of that. And I've been disappointed with Trump right now because I think he's been silent during this whole controversy. And either he's getting old and he doesn't understand that it happened, he's just out of touch, or he doesn't know what to say because
I bet he doesn't know what to say.
uh, but he needs to rein in because you remember Vivek and Elon are supposed to work for him on
Yeah,
this Dodge thing. So he's got to say, what the fuck are you guys saying? And he needs to come out with a strong message saying, hey, there's been some misunderstanding. I want to make it clear that I support the American worker. I think American workers are smart and they're hard workers. And I think we as Americans, no matter your race, can develop great things for this country. And H-1B visas, I'm going to look at them very carefully and only in special circumstances we need to use it. They are definitely being abused. By the way, this was his opinion in 2016. He wrote about this. He needs to get in front of this, but I haven't heard shit from him. And
mm-mm.
that doesn't sound very good. And the stuff that he's dicking around with, no one gives a shit. I mean, it's kind of funny from a meme point of view talking about Greenland, but let's get real here. We have real issues here, like healthcare, right? We have
Right.
real issues with this whole immigration and H-1B. And I don't really like this whole, they're trying to change it now, like, oh, we got to get rid of all these illegals who murder our people. I'm like, what? No, they need illegals that murder our people need to be arrested and executed if they're found guilty.
Excuse me.
They don't need to be deported. It's the others that need to be deported. What are you talking about? So I don't like that. And I asked, what does it even mean to be on the right anymore? I put out a tweet or a post on X. It seems to me being on the right means you're against illegal immigration, but you're fine for unlimited legal immigration. As long as they're not criminals, you're fine with them just pouring in and taking our culture away. We lose our home. We no longer have a homeland. You're fine with that. You support Israel unconditionally. Let's see, and you're okay for the whole LGBTQ stuff as long as kids don't get sex changes and men don't play in women's sports and you get some corporate tax cuts. Is that really what they're really going for? Is that really they think what people want?
I mean, isn't that basically like George Bush?
It really is. I mean,
Minus
that's
the
just bullshit.
homosexual stuff, I guess. Well, yeah, I don't really know. I don't really feel like I fit on the right or the left.
Well, I don't either. If that's how you define the right, then I'm not right wing anymore because I don't, I never define it the right by that, but that's how they're defining. I mean, what's the point? Like I said, if we're losing our homeland, what do I care if it's legal or illegal? It doesn't make a shit of difference to me.
Well, and I don't understand because these people talk about the jobs going away. That was Trump's whole thing. And I know Trump hasn't said anything about what Vivek and Elon said, but their whole thing is like, oh, immigration, immigration, immigration. But then now you want to bring all these other people here as long as it's legal. Why do we have to take all these people in? I don't understand.
Yeah,
there's so many stores closing. There's so many people out of work. Like I said, people have multiple shitty jobs. There's not a lot of, it doesn't seem like a lot of stuff's really, we're not creating a lot of jobs here. Like you said, OnlyFans and liquor stores and stuff. I mean, do we make anything anymore? Because it's really rare to even see anything that's made in the USA. And nobody
Right.
talks about that, like maybe bring jobs back. But no, instead, what little jobs you guys have here, we want to bring in like Indians to take them away from you.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. And I don't want to be India. Why can't we have our own parts of the country? Can't they have India? India's a big place. Let them stay there. And why? And another thing with Elon and Vivek's argument to bring the smartest people. Well, doesn't that brain drain these other countries? So their countries are always going to suck, and we're always going to have all these people want to come here. Like, shouldn't they stay there and try to fix shit? Why do they always have to come here?
Yeah, this
I
is
mean, I don't
the big
understand.
mystery. You know, we're always told about how, you know, white people, we suck, we're racist, we're supremacists, and we're horrible. Then why do they always demand to be around us?
Yeah.
I put out a post that access to white people is not a human right.
Hmm.
They don't have some human right to always have access to us. And if we're so horrible, why not do, you know, and I'm not even arguing the point. Okay, so maybe they're right. Maybe they're all these fucking super geniuses. Well, then, okay, we will struggle with it. We will see what, with our people, what we can do. And then you guys do your thing in India or whatever country you're in, and we'll see. And they know they aren't going to do shit. Well, they will shit, but they won't create anything valuable. And it's this weird thing that happens. K-Max, at this point, I wish Trump would resign and just let J.D. Vance take over your view. J.D. Vance has been a lot more previously based on this position. He's made the statement that America's just not an idea, it's a people.
But can you
And,
trust him either? His wife's one of them. You
well,
know what I mean? Like they
well,
made me bring her
this
family
is
over here. I
yeah,
don't
but
trust any of these people anymore. Not that I ever
this
really did,
yeah,
but
this is what I wrote about though today. It'd be between the group and the individuals, and I think there's a lot of individuals that are great people, no matter the group, right? And I'm not trying to have some racial purity or anything like that, but we have a right to remain in the majority, just like Jews do in Israel. That's my point. A super majority, that we have that right. And obviously you have some minority presence, and that's fine. But I don't know. I would hope. I know JD Vance is a little bit more. Well, he's more intelligent than Trump, but I don't know. Who knows anymore? Were they just all faking it or what? But if you're right, if they're all just going to turn into a George W. Bush, let's just bring in millions of legal people, because I've always said this. Because the issue is it's really not. Most of the immigrants that come in, even illegals, well, they're all criminals because they came in illegally. That's a crime. But most of them aren't carrying disease. Most of them aren't Hamas terrorists and any of that bullshit. That's just a red herring. And so that's not, 99% of the people aren't that. And so based on we're just going to deport the violent ones, well, that's not enough. That's not going to change anything. And so, yeah, that is disappointing. So
it is disappointing. I was starting to get kind of disappointed with things I was hearing, and then I hear this, and I'm like, really? Like, you guys are supposed to be the ones that are kind of like America first? This doesn't sound like America first to me.
no, it doesn't. And it's,
But I kind of knew. Somebody on X had kind of replied, and they said something about how you kind of knew this was coming, but because I don't know, it was a letdown because you knew that this was going to happen. Well, I didn't know this was going to happen, but you knew you weren't going to get everything that you wanted with a Trump presidency. And I know his presidency hasn't even started, so we'll see what happens. But I remembered, like, oh yeah, the last presidency was pretty disappointing, but we had cheap gas, and so that's kind of what I voted for. I thought Trump got shot, so I'm going to vote for him because he, like you said, Kamala would have been worse. Because then at least they were talking about sending criminals back. She wanted to give criminal sex changes, so Trump was like the lesser of two evils in this, and but I remembered, like, okay, this is why you voted. You knew it wasn't going to, like, nothing was really going to change, but you were hoping gas would go down. So it's like, I'm not going to have high expectations. I think it's because of all the talk. You start thinking, well, maybe they will do it, and maybe this time will be different. And it's almost like that guy gave you the super chat about the con man. I hope that that's not the case. And I read his horrible wife's book. And she's not right wing. And you need to be empathetic to people having late term abortions. I mean, what the hell? Like, she's a narcissist too. And I don't know, all these billionaires that just want to exploit cheap labor and screw over American workers. It's like, man, maybe we're not getting much better than, I don't know. Like I said, he's better than Kamala. And I know Trump hasn't done anything yet. But when they come out and say stuff like this, it makes me really skeptical. And like you said, why didn't Trump come out and say something? Like, you'd think he should come out and say, hey, there was a misunderstanding. Like, we're not going to do this, like, H-1B shit. Like, I don't know.
Well, and it's really disappointing. It is. Then you have questions. Is he just getting too old like Biden is, where he's not alert on things that are happening?
I don't know, though. He doesn't seem like that, though.
No, I'm not saying that's the case, but is that the issue? Or he's just so isolated he doesn't know. I know JD Vance is active on social media. He knows what's going on. But why isn't Trump saying anything about this? Or is he backtracking? Is he and what's so frustrating, if it wasn't for us, the mainstream Americans that really trusted in Trump and Elon Musk and Vivek, at least Musk and Trump would probably end up in prison. I mean, this election was them to stay out of prison,
Yeah.
And so this is the thanks we get from keeping these people out of prison they would have gone for them.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
mean, yeah, for sure. They were going for Trump until this, and now they're kind of backing
well,
off.
they're
They
also
said
going
no.
for Musk. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to
When they
take it.
threatening to send him to jail if he went to
Yeah,
England.
yeah. So, you know, we came through for them, and now they're saying, "Oh, you're just stupid and lazy. We need to have these Indians take your jobs." Outrageous,
It is.
outrageous.
It is outrageous. And it's really like painful too because you know so many people do, and I include myself in this camp, work really freaking hard. And to be called lazy, you know, and it's just yeah, there are lazy people, but don't say like all Americans are lazy. I mean, our ancestors built this place. And I'm
Right.
getting tired of these third worlders coming over here like Vivek and oh you're lazy. And it's like, really, what did your people build?
Yeah. Oh,
Your people crap in the streets. It's disgusting.
Lucas T. Sesha said, "We don't know who to trust. These people all live in white gated private neighborhoods. They don't care. So I can't even just JD now. Um, they all do live in these. They are isolated as part of the problem. I mean, Elon does interact with normal people sometimes on X or Twitter or whatever you call with it, but their views are so different because they live. Hey, you know, I have to be honest. If you're extremely rich, anywhere in the world is pretty nice to live. And all this bullshit that you impose is pretty nice because you don't have to worry about crime because you have private bodyguards. You don't have to worry about people screaming in the middle of the night accosting you as you go out to get to your car. You don't have any of those concerns. You know, they
No.
just live in a whole different. And their idea of diversity is oh, I went to a fabulous cocktail party and there's this black transgender woman. She's just so hilarious. You know, that's their idea. That's their whole,
Well, and they
they,
probably come into more exceptional people because they're rich. They run in circles like Elon Musk is smart. So, you
right,
know, and Vivek's smart, that they run into, they probably know a lot of intelligent people. They're not running into
right.
like Jamar across the street
No, they aren't.
or
No,
people like that. So their ideas of it are different than people that have to live around a lot of it, you know,
exactly.
or have to work with it or whatever. They don't have to do that. They're the bosses wherever they work.
Right. Yeah. And so
They're not
everyone's
getting passed up over promotions for this. It's people like me or you or, you know.
right. No, they don't have to worry about that. I mean, I said, hey, you know, this is part of the social contract. How would they like it if all of a sudden, oh, well, you know, maybe we need to outsource our billionaires, so we're going to have unearned capital gains tax for billionaires and confiscate their stuff. How would they
Yeah.
like that? You know, and then, oh, well, you guys just weren't smart enough. You got to work harder. You know, how
Yeah.
would,
Why do
you
you
know,
need all that money?
yeah, we got to
You
give other
know?
people in the world a chance. How's it fair for you to do it? You know, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And oh, you know, I think we can have billionaires from India do a better job than you, Elon. I mean, you know, I don't think he would like that, you know, but
No,
they're so insulated. It is frustrating.
it is.
Robert, back in 1960, America took 330,000 legal immigrants per year, mostly from Europe. Now we take in 1 million per year. The media never addresses that part. We did not take in entire cities back then. Yeah, we're taking in too many people and we're taking in the wrong people. Both of them. At this point, we don't need to take in anyone, to be honest. We're
No.
full. We're full. Hey, Cringe Panda, thank you. Nobody hates the tacos as much as they hate the curry. At least taco people are Christian. Talk about waking a sleepy giant. You know, as I tried to said in my Substack today, on the individual levels, a lot of people are really great people, and there's a lot of great Indians, a lot of great Mexicans of every race, right? And but that's it's not so much about good or evil or bad or anything like that. It's we have a right to our homeland, and my idea of winning is having a, you know, just like the traditional, the way Fayetteville was, let's say 20, 30 years ago. Our people, similar culture, language, you know, we're connected. That's what I consider winning. I don't consider it a visiting marketplace with a million different languages and ethnic strife. That's not what I want. And but Cringe, you bring up a good point because there is some, you know, Black Americans, at least ones from slavery, they're historic Americans. They really are, you know, and they're part of the American experience. And even some Hispanics have been in America a long time. But Indians, they weren't slaves. That they didn't have any land here previously. They're all just coming in. And so there is no claim there whatsoever historically.
Well, and I don't know. I work with like Hispanics or Mexicans, and I don't know. They're more similar to us, I think, than Indians are.
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd rather be. I like tacos over curry too. Out of my experience, when I used to work at the university, and I had to deal with the Friends India, the rudest freaking people on the planet. Like, I don't know. I prefer, the country stay like it was, but
Uh, Johnny, $3. DEI dictates too many white people must be racism. We need more diversity. Project has 90% Indians, crickets, and no claims to need more whites on the project. All Indians means all diversity, I guess. Yeah, this is the old, all diversity means is fewer white people. Like if you have a basketball team that's 100% black, there's not going to be any complaints that, oh, we need more diversity. So
no,
I think people are wising up to that pretty
they
quick.
are.
And this is why it's getting back to what I've always argued. I don't argue for us having a homeland because of economic reasons, or I think that is part of it. It's mostly because we have a right, like everyone, to be around our people, our culture. And it's not a purity thing or anything like that, but we have that right. That's what nations mean. And we have a right to self-determination. Doesn't mean we're superior, but we have, the right to have this stuff. And it's incredible that's taken away and we're considered the villains for objecting. It's just
Right.
unreal,
And they wouldn't accept a bunch of us. Can you
No,
imagine if we all tried to
no.
go over there? It'd be like, no, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, it's or these same people that think all this we need unlimited immigration. Do you think Trump would support unlimited immigration into Israel, replacing the Jewish people?
No,
Oh my God, that would be lamenting and crying and shrieking. So we have the same right. That's
we
all
do.
I'm saying there. So yeah, that's a point. So again, I think there's a lot of good Indians, just like I think there's a lot of good people from all countries, and a lot of Americans are Indian, and that I'm fine with them. But we don't need to take an infinite amount of Indians in, or Africans, or Mexicans. We're our own country. We have a right to our homeland, and it's not benefiting us. And the H-1B is being abused. It's not just emergency filling jobs Americans won't do. They are actively excluding Americans, especially white programmers.
We
They
just
can't
want the
even get
cheap
interviewed.
labor.
Yeah, we need to, I mean, actually, they're breaking a law doing that. We need to enforce a law and arrest the CEOs that are doing that. That would stop it. So, yeah, I'm glad that there was a lot of pushback, and people live this. You can't say it's just bullshit because everyone has a story how this is real. And
Well, you know it's real. Because how did we get by before these people? I love this. Oh, white people won't do these jobs. Who the hell do you think did these jobs in the 80s and 90s?
exactly.
You
Who
know,
built
it's
this
like,
country? Who built this
yeah,
country? It's like, I mean, what are you talking about?
they always like to say that, but it's like, well, how does Europe function? Before it got invaded.
Corinne says, find a hate a group without hating everyone in that group. Our rulers. Yeah, Cringe, I agree with this, and I don't even hate every group. I think cultures have different cultures, and that's why we have different nations. And for example, I'm not Muslim. I wouldn't want a society where everyone has to pray 5 times a day and they have loudspeakers call to prayer. I don't want that. But if Muslims want to have that in their country, I'm okay with that. I don't care. That's their business. We have our business. So that's the case. Dave, $20. Great discussion tonight. Nosferatu 2028. I think that's our friend Dave from New First Smith. He's a good friend of ours. We had a great time with him
Yeah,
this
Dave,
year.
thanks for the gift card too.
Oh, and the candy. We found the candy
Yeah.
also too. Yeah, so that was great. So it was great having you at the Christmas party. So yeah, this is all it is. And okay, I mean, let's just do an experiment. I mean, we're not going to win. Well, let's try. Let's just try to have our tech industry that's actually run by Americans. And then if Indians, they kick our ass and win, I'm okay with that. Go for it. Just show us how it's done, India. Go back to India. Show us how it's done. And, but that won't happen. But and they know they can't. But that's the problem with the scan. So yeah.
I'm glad they got so much pushback. Do you think it'll even mean anything though? Or Trump's just going to
Uh,
have to come out and disavow them? Or I wonder what's going to happen.
yeah, I think they can't just totally ignore it because it's not like 1 or 2%. Oh, these are just the Nazis that are complaining. No, I would say of the people I saw, and it's not been 100% MAGA, but it's been, I would say, 80% MAGA type people are really against this. So that's good to see. The majority of people are against this. So, well, Trump was against H-1B visas in 2016. So,
Wonder if he's
uh,
going to have to do a little talk with Elon and Vivek now.
I don't know. It'd be interesting if Vivek and Elon try to backtrack a little bit
They're
or
going to have
something.
to. I don't see how they can't. They're going to have to do something because now everybody's pissed.
Well, like I said, even before Trump's in the office, they pretty much kind of sabotaged or torpedoed his whole initiatives, right?
Right.
Because no one's going to give a fuck about their stupid ass Dodge. It's like, fuck off.
Well, I just imagine Dodge is just going to probably be to hurt like a Social Security and things like that. Anything that's going to help Americans, they got to
Yeah, I
get rid of
know.
that.
Let's
You're going to
cut
cut
Americans. What we got to do is cut Americans' unemployment benefits. Those lazy bastards.
well,
We
I
got
mean,
to
couldn't you see
we got to
that?
use the money what we save because H-1Bs, they're funded by taxpayers. We got to use that to fund more H-1Bs. Yeah, I could see them doing that.
I mean, that like I said, every time I hear it was even Megyn Kelly's show, she had some guy on and they were talking about the Doge thing, and she was like, "Oh, the entitlements they don't want to touch, or they don't want to. Social Security's the big one," and it's like, yeah, because we fucking paid into that. I'm
Exactly.
so tired of hearing that. Well, fine, then you need to do something for younger people. Don't make them put into it, like make a cutoff, like, okay, if you're 21 now or whatever, or maybe even older, you could say 30, we'll cut you a check and you can
Right.
just put your money in retirement. Because trust me, I would have rather all that money I put in Social Security, I could put in my retirement.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's more likely to be there in the future anyway. But they always want to touch anything that helps Americans that you paid into.
Well,
They never talk about cutting the military. No, we can't do that. Like anything like that, they won't touch it. It's always Social Security that they talk about coming for, or Medicare. And then some of these people pay in their whole life and then they die before they even get a check. That happened to
Yeah.
Mosca's dad.
Yeah.
It happened to my uncle. It's real common.
Well, by the way, it's a myth. Social Security runs a surplus. It runs a surplus. It doesn't lose money. The problem it's losing money is because those fuckers, they steal money from Social Security and spend it on other bullshit. That's the truth of what's happening. Which should be illegal. That should be embezzlement, right? You have a fund and then they raid it. Fuck you. You go to jail, politicians, for doing that. It's unreal.
It
But
is.
they embezzling the money, literally. That's what you call it. I don't know how else to put it.
Somebody
So,
said we're blackpilling. Yeah, sorry, but I mean, that's just, I don't know. It feels good to kind of vent about it because I've seen it all day and I've been alone all day working. And I don't know. I mean, you just have to have your friends or your family or whoever, like people you can depend on, and just realize we're all going through this together. That's kind of how I deal with it. And it's like, yeah, the old America that we grew up in is dead and it's never coming back.
yeah,
And I wish it would, but I just don't think it will.
If the new MAGA is going to be about getting in wars for Israel, bringing in more Indians, spending more on the military, yeah, that's not exactly appealing to me.
I don't think it's appealing to most people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Didn't most people vote for Trump because he talked about bringing jobs back and deporting people?
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to start this shit, like, good luck, because you're not going to get, most people aren't going to be down with this new agenda. That's why he got a lot of new people, including myself.
Yeah.
Back in the day, because he talked about things that I felt were important that never got talked about. But if they're just going to screw us over the same as all these other politicians, I don't see how it's any different.
Yeah. I mean, and again, don't get me wrong. I think still Trump, I mean, he will. To me, it's interesting because Elon Musk, he doesn't want like Guatemalans or Haitians in this country. He really doesn't.
He just wants people he can use.
Yes. And so, I mean, I'm halfway there. And who really wants Venezuelan gang members taking over apartment complexes, right? No one wants that, really, except for the radical SJWs. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And those are easy targets, right? Or like that guy from Guatemala that set the lady on fire. He was
Yeah,
illegal
that's
on the civil.
insane.
We no, hardly anyone wants that. Maybe AOC, but hardly anyone else wants that bullshit. So, but it's tougher when you talk about these others. It's like, no, this is our country. This is our homeland. A good government policy. If I was king of America, I would say, no, you got to hire Americans companies. If you hire outside, I'm going to put a tariff on you, so you're not going to save any money. So if it costs, let's say, $100,000 to hire an American programmer, and you go outsource this to India for 40,000, I'm putting a $60,000 tariff on you.
Well, isn't
Right
that
off
kind
the
of
bat.
what Trump was saying? Like to protect our jobs, he was going to put tariffs on
That's
people.
how it should be. That's how it
Yeah.
should be, and not because that would end it. And it's like, oh, you can't do that, and it's just, and again, I don't even understand Musk's point of view because he would still get talented people. I mean, people. Let's face it, white guys invented the tech field. They invented space travel. They invented everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the fuck they're. It's just
Is
crazy.
he really so out of touch? He really thought that was a good thing to say and that he was going to get people on his side. I don't even know where his thinking came from.
I don't know either. Like I said, it was stupid. Ironic. He calls other people stupid, but he did. It's a very stupid thing to do as a
And did he
politician.
really take Laura Loomer's stuff away?
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I know she's kind of nuts, so I didn't know if she made it up or he like, really did that because that's
No, it
pretty
wasn't just
screwed
her. It
up.
was the other people too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was like, what are you doing here? You know what I
I
mean?
know he's just
It's like,
making things worse.
well, as Z-Man said, and I kind of agree, because he's in that position, he's used to people always kissing his ass 24/7. Anything he says, he has sycophants saying it's the most brilliant thing ever. And I
Right.
think it really shocked him to get so much pushback. He got ratioed. I mean, people were against him. And I don't think he's ever seen anything like that in his life.
So he didn't know how to respond.
Right. So he kind of had a tantrum.
Well, if he wants to make things better, he ought to come out, apologize, and say, like, I didn't realize, or I don't
Right,
know.
exactly.
Be a politician, get out there and lie. Like Bill Clinton was good at
I
telling
know.
lies. Like, didn't you support him? Go out and tell a bunch of fibs and make it better because you can.
I mean, Bill
he's not
Clinton
gonna.
was, yeah, Bill Clinton was a piece of shit, but he was smart enough to not to do something this stupid. He
No,
would never
yeah,
say
no, he was a
something like
good
that.
politician.
Well, hell, you know who came out against H-1B visas? I couldn't
Nikki
believe this.
Haley.
Nikki Haley. I'm
I
like, what the
know.
fuck?
Maybe
And
she's going to try to con now. She's the next Indian con artist besides Vivek. Like, oh, I'll come out and I'll make them think that I'm against this. And then 2028 comes around, like they'll remember and vote for me.
She'll be the based one. Yeah.
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 I don't trust any of these people anymore. I mean, not that, like I said, I ever really did anyway, but you like to think maybe somewhere somebody gives a shit about America.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think people just care about their own wallets and they don't care. And you get that rich and you're just greedy and you want more money and
Yeah. I don't
screw
know.
America. Let's flush it all down the toilet because I need cheap labor from India. I don't know.
Like I said, it wouldn't hurt him at all, his standard of living, if he's promoted American workers at all.
No. I mean, he's the richest man in the world.
He's still gonna have mansions, private jets, the most fancy cars, everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to change, It's not like it's going to hurt him at all, and it's like I don't get it.
I don't either.
It's frustrating.
It is disappointing.
It is, and maybe they'll change. I hope. They fucked up. They really did, and hopefully they realize they did, and hopefully Trump can rein them in, and we'll see.
Who knows? They could tell us something to our face and then just do whatever they want behind our backs.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what politicians do anyway? They just lie and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I was hoping a little better than that, because they could have made that like I said, they could have made it such a win. Even Vivek, if he came out, no, and even though I'm Indian, I'm American, and I want, no matter our race here, I want Americans to get the jobs first. You know how much that would have, you know how much that would have helped them for 2028? My God.
Yeah, I think we just got taken by him. He said a lot of base shit, and I think a lot of people did try to warn us, like, hey, this guy's a fraud, and they're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to know, like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be so trusting of these people because they're all trash.
Yeah, and someone here, and I don't know if you saw, I just saw this tweet, and I disagree. I guess because I'm not really part of a political movement, so I don't really care about so much the politics of this. Charlie Kirk said, if I was a smart leftist, I would go all in on trying to create a schism between MAGA and tech world.
Oh,
We
come
must
on.
resist it. It's an op. No, it's not an op. These are real issues. Our coalition will naturally have differing opinions. This is an opinion based on should the tax rate be 25% or 18%, right? This is more fundamental. Together, we must beat the Democrats in November. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if we're like, I don't really care Republicans just because they are by their name. So if Republicans want to destroy the country, why in the hell do I need to? It's not as team sport. I don't really give a shit Republicans versus Democrats. I care about my country. I voted Republican mostly because they seem to align more to my views, but I don't really. It's not if a Democrat had a more base position, I would vote for them.
Me
I don't give a
too.
shit about R or D. Fuck that.
Me
It's not
either.
a team sport. And it's not a fake schism. This is
Well,
fundamental.
I saw other people kind of saying that too. That E. Miles Chong guy. I don't think he's from America,
He's
and
Malaysian.
he was
He's
like getting on
Malaysian.
to people for getting mad at them and like, oh, you shouldn't get so upset about this. And it's like, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's,
like it's sorry
as I
they
told
screwed
him,
up.
it's funny because I actually worked in Malaysia briefly. I worked on a contract with a big corporation. I won't say the corporation, but they were part government run. And as part of the deal, we had agreed we would not outsource any labor to like Vietnam. All the IT had to be Malaysia workers because they cared about their people.
Yeah,
But when we do that, oh, that's racist. Fuck off.
yeah. Well, because
So
America, they've convinced and brainwashed so many stupid people that America is just like a shopping mall.
mhm,
It's just an idea. It's not really a people. You just come
mhm.
here to get rich.
And here it is. This is KMAX had a quick thing here. Let me just bring this up here. Where is this here? All right, so I'll share this. Thank you about this. Scott Jennings brings together the Elon Musk and America First factions, the H-1 visa debate for common resolution. What are your thoughts on this proposal? Okay, this is pretty short. Let's see.
I don't want to go much. Let's jump straight to our panel. Scott Jennings, I don't want to go into a deep dive of Saved by the Bell with you. I have no doubt you have an encyclopedic knowledge of it. It just seems like something you would have an encyclopedic knowledge of. But I think the bigger picture here, because on the policy, this is a huge issue that has long existed in terms of a division between certain parts of the Republican Party. And then also in the coalition, the political coalition. The president-elect won the popular vote in large part because he was able to put together these two very key components of the coalition. How long-standing and potentially harmful do you think this fight could get?
Let me just start with Kelly Kapowski, if you're listening. Hi. Number two, look, there's always been a push and pull on this in the Republican Party, and I think there's a way to work this out and solve it. I mean, I think what a lot of people would say is, and Elon Musk was making this point, if you take like the top 1% or the top 0.1% of the most talented engineering people from other countries, that's perfectly fine.
I don't even think that's fine, to be honest. But that's
No.
not what's happening, by the way. That's bullshit.
H-1B visas for that. They're unique. They have unique talent, unique innovative skills. Fine. If you're using the H-1B program to abuse it, to
That's what it's used for. It's abused.
recruit, interns, accountants, other people that easily could be recruited from the United States of America, all because you just want to do it cheaper, that's not fine. So I think what a lot of people in the party want to do is eliminate the fraud in this H-1B program, retain the top engineering talent, and there's a way to do this. What Ramaswamy did yesterday was not a great communications exercise, and it did anger a lot of people in the president's coalition, and I think rightfully so.
Guys, I appreciate A, you pulling that off. B, you putting up with Scott's Kelly Kapowski commentary.
Tiffany, Tiffany, if Tiffany's watching
Honestly,
the lead,
like, we should
if
be
she's
the
watching
move
the lead,
forever. I appreciate.
How I would do this, Sasha, is again, I'll just put a tear off on anything. If you're not an American citizen, you have to pay them as you would an American citizen. And that would stop a lot of the abuse. And then if you want someone that's just super brilliant, fine, you can pay it. But that would eliminate the abuse right there.
Right. Well, it'd be nice if they did that.
Yeah. And so, because supposedly, by the way, H-1Bs are supposed to be disused. They're not supposed to replace American workers, but they're being abused.
Right. It's
And
just supposed to be if they have some kind of quality we can't get for some reason. In a country of 300 million people, it seems like you'd have more than enough talent here. Why would you have to go to the third world to get it?
well, the tech companies have lied about this forever. Like, oh, we just don't have enough STEM graduates in the United States. So in order to run our companies, we have to hire these people from India. But then they don't even interview American STEM graduates. So fuck off. They need to go to jail because
Yeah,
they're
I've seen a
abusing
lot
the
of people say that on X. Like people said that they had like degrees in STEM and engineering.
Timothy, $10. He said that Elon Musk is losing it, and he brought up a tweet. So let me just see Elon Musk losing it. Let's see here. All right, let me just bring this up. Sorry, Timothy. Let me bring this up here. The reason I'm, let's see here. So this was, oh, he just tweeted this here just a few minutes ago. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you can't possibly comprehend.
Oh, is he going to threaten to pull his companies out of the States?
Good, go for it. Then we'll stop his tax
Oh,
advantage.
oh,
Yeah,
and
fine.
yeah, America, you helped build it. Companies made America because they fuck off. Like America was awesome before you shitty companies came here.
Well, he got rich because of tax benefits, subsidies from the
Right.
government.
Like,
So
what do? You do SpaceX. How many? I mean, I guess that creates some jobs, but and at Tesla, cars people can't afford that you can only drive so far without having to plug them in somewhere. That looks stupid.
this is a very stupid response if he's not just a private citizen anymore. Remember, he's
Yeah,
now
he's working
working
for
for the
Trump.
Trump's administration as a member of the American people on the Doge project. And he's saying shit like this is just fucking stupid. And,
It
he
is.
brings up being stupid, but he's acting stupid there.
When is Trump going to come out and say anything about this?
He needs to quick. I mean,
He's got to. He's going to, because I mean, they're intertwined now.
I mean, Trump can play hardball, say, okay, we'll have the regulators go after Elon, like Kamala wanted. How you like those apples? You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. That is just dumb. And why is he so, I don't really understand why this is a big deal to him. He's, no matter what, he's a super rich billionaire, right?
Right. Didn't you say he doesn't even own a home, really? He just
Well,
kind
at
of
one
couch
point he
surfs or
did it.
something?
Yeah, he said he did that. I don't know where he does now, but it is just crazy. That H-1B did not make America strong. Disney
No.
didn't have H-1B back when Walt Disney, Henry
And
Ford didn't
they
have
did their
H-1B.
best stuff. Everything was better then,
The
too.
railroads didn't have H-1B. This fuck off. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like, Joseph, as much as we condemn what happened to the health insurance executive, is this an example of the elites that drive us crazy? It is an
Yes.
example. I mean, it's again, I wrote about there's a social contract here. It's just like it's pretty crazy, really, if you think
Well, and
about
the
it.
whole healthcare thing, 'cause I don't think I've talked to you really since that went down, or we haven't done a show in a while.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like, yeah, I don't think you should go shoot people in the street, but how many people died because of that guy? Because they wouldn't, you can't get your surgery or you can't get whatever, and they're using AI to tell people. And I don't know if that Luigi guy did it because he thought he was doing something good, or if he did it because he's nuts. I don't know yet, like what the deal is. But if you've had to deal with insurance companies and this type of stuff, you understand why people are sympathetic to the guy that shot the guy in the street. And that's where Con Inc. loses it, because I saw so many people like just kind of like making this guy like a hero. And it's like, yeah, he shouldn't have been gunned down in the street, but was the guy like a hero? Like, really? Or was he a good person? I mean, how many people died under his watch because of his, like, mistakes, and how much money that insurance company brought in?
Oh, the AI they put in.
So yeah, so it's really kind of hard to shed too many tears over people like that when it seems like these are the people ruining America and hollowing out the middle class. I'm not saying this guy did it specifically, but just people like him, these rich people. And sometimes I can see why the left hates rich people.
Mm-hmm.
When it seems like I get it, you want to make money, and I don't begrudge anybody being rich, but it seems like there's a point where it's like, what? So you're just gonna just run America down the river because you want to make more money? Like you said, Elon Musk, he could afford. I would think he could afford to pay most of the people a good wage. And then there's no reason, if he's got as much money as he says, he's a billionaire.
He's almost a trillionaire.
So why can't you just pay American workers? Why do you have to get the third world from India?
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? And you can only get it through H-1B? No. And if there's a shortage, why don't they encourage people to go into that field? I find it bullshit, because I've heard stories of the opposite, where they've replaced a lot of these workers and they've had to train their replacements.
Right.
Michelle Malkin did like a video about that years ago on that Michelle Malkin Investigates show, where she went to Silicon Valley and talked about that. A lot of these jobs were getting rid of their people and replacing them with third worlders, and what a problem this was.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, and again, there's so many of these stories, and I'll show you one here just briefly, but there's so many of this. Here's U.S. tech workers, tech bros. There's a shortage of talent. We need more workers, more H-1Bs. Professor of computer science at UC Berkeley, prestigious school. My perfect GPA students are contacting me worried because they're getting 0 job offers. Fuck you then. That's not the reason H-1Bs are supposed to be around, right?
When did this H-1B thing start, Paul? You probably know better. Was it in the 90s?
Well, I don't know when it officially started, but that's when it gained traction. Beforehand, we really didn't have that sort of thing. Again, because it was, there is no shortage because the market deals with it. Because if there should be a shortage of programmers, then the wages go up. And then the wages go up, what happens? More people want to go in the field, right?
Right.
So it's the market deals with it. It happened, especially around the year 2000, when companies stop innovating and they just wanted to cut costs, and they found they could do that by sending it overseas to India, where it's cheaper, and get these H-1B people, even though the quality dived, and it helps destroy our communities. So, yeah, again, I don't know why Elon Musk decided to go on this weird tangent. I have no idea.
Maybe he's having a breakdown or something. Like
I don't think he's ever used to having criticism or something. I really don't, because everyone kisses his ass because he's so rich. But it's
now he's getting blowback on his own platform.
Yeah, I know. He's just having a meltdown. And like I said, I mean, the dude be in prison. If the people he hates on are literally keeping him out of prison, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, Kamala would have thrown his ass in jail. So. Unreal thanks. You think the Indians give a fuck about him? Hell no. You know what I mean? It's just what they can get out of him. So, yeah, pretty crazy how that is. So,
yeah, this wasn't really on my bingo card.
Yeah.
For the end of the year.
Yeah. So, anyway, he's going to go to war against the American people. I mean, is that really a good look for someone that's in the Trump administration? Before he takes office, he's declaring he's going to go to war against the American people.
Is Trump going to have to say, like, hey, you can't be in my...
He needs to, honestly.
Now?
I was Trump, and I was like the biggest Elon Musk fanboy, but if I was Trump now, I would say, Elon, you can't be part of this administration. We're an elected government, and people put me to represent them. Americans. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, Yeah. It was just like bizarre. I've never seen anything like this. Really, I haven't. I mean, this is politicians. I mean, sometimes I think they think this secretly, but they're not going to say it. No, I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Really, you're talking about how stupid Americans are. Well, you're acting pretty stupid saying this in public.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know. Crazy, really.
Yeah,
crazy.
the news have been kind of slow lately.
Yeah. And all of a sudden they just decide to have their spurgy breakdown on Christmas Day.
How did that even start? I didn't even know how it started. I just went on there and everyone was freaking out, and because I've been packing the last like week.
Yeah, I don't know how they just got off on that. It was just bizarre. I don't know their origin, but I got on. I just saw the whole thing exploded, and I think it started, and supposedly the guy got banned because Elon was talking, he needs all these H-1Bs because you can't get enough Americans. And the guy wrote, well, what are you talking about? I mean, my son, he can't get an interview, and that just caused Elon to melt down. And yeah, I just don't, again, I don't think an incoming Trump administration official should declaring war on the American people. It's not necessarily the most politically wise thing to do.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, Trump could just cut him loose and have the FCC go after him if that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or he might need to cut him loose, or he needs to come out and apologize. Like that's making it worse. Like, what the fuck is he thinking going and saying this is war? What do you think, asshole? Like, you're from another country, even. You come over here, and then you want to replace us with the Indians. And you don't think people are going to get pissed about that? Like, what are you thinking?
Why didn't he do this in South Africa?
Yeah, why didn't he?
So it's, it's just really, it's this weird, like, meltdown, like almost feminine, really.
It is.
Just it's yeah, I don't know, that really, especially keeps doubling down. You think Trump or someone say, dude, chill. I know you have these concerns, but you can't say you can't say that you're at war with the American people. That's just bizarre.
It is.
Because he's part of because again, he's not acting just as a private citizen. He will go to war. All right.
Well, hopefully that Doge thing gets canned now.
Well,
I don't know what they're going to do. Anyway.
It's dead. Doge is dead now.
When they talk about stuff like that, like I said, I start thinking like, they're going to hurt Americans.
Vivek, I think, somewhat a step back, but that all the political capital has gone to shit. I mean, because there's something called political capital that you get in people's good side, and you can get a little bit off. It's kind of like a balance ledger. All the goodwill they had, they just threw away in one day. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
On this, you got to understand where you pick your battles. And again, there's so many ways he could have said it in a political way of like, oh, well, no, we want to focus on American workers, but please understand there's still a place for H-1Bs. That's all he had to say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is that? But nope. Weird.
I know. They always say he says he's autistic. Maybe it's the autism kicking in, making him like just not think straight. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bizarre, really. For someone in that, I keep saying that, but someone in that position, you should have a little bit more self-control or whatever.
You think? So is Ben Shapiro out there defending him? That seems like something.
I'm sure. Although I don't think Ben would really be on board with 1 million Indians coming into Israel, would he?
No, but here he doesn't care.
No,
this is a shopping center for him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like a way for him to sell his Daily Wire subscription. Oh no, he already said he doesn't care about browning of America. So
yeah,
he doesn't care. He doesn't have to live around it either. He's rich.
Yeah. So some people are really stupid with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because here's this guy arguing with me saying that I just saw he commented on our show here that I'm a stupid hillbilly that hangs around and defends all these Indians and Chinese, but he had to deal with these other illegals. I mean, like, what the fuck he's talking about?
What, he's doing this on X?
Let me just show you here. I'll just show you. It's just dumb. Let me see here. All right, here we go. Sometimes people leave comments. It's like, are they autistic? Don't even understand what I'm saying,
Probably.
Hey, proud hillbilly, while you were haunting the boardrooms of large companies, when did I ever say I did that? I was in the trenches dealing with Indian and Chinese H-1B psychopaths we allowed in our nation. They are a greater existential threat to our nation than the illegals you complain about.
What's this retard talking about? You've said before you're against H-1B.
Right.
Like, so,
yeah,
what an idiot.
I know.
Shouldn't even give people like that air. I'm kind of sick of these people. It's like, I don't mean to complain all the time, but I've been like, this Christmas season was just kind of really bad.
Yeah, I get
and I was lied to by people and screwed over. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I really want to like people, but at the same time, I just really, I don't know. It's hard for me to like people when I see.
Well, it's just bizarre that like someone could watch a stream and they say that, oh, Ramsey Paul, fuck you, you're pushing H-1B visas. I'm like,
when you're the opposite.
It's just like, you know what I mean? I don't even know how to go with that. It's just people are idiots. I mean, it's just nuts. So I don't know, crazy time. So well, Trump has a mess. I don't know if he'll clean it up or not. Who knows? But
well, it'll be fun to see like what happens. I guess maybe there'll be some real news because there hasn't been anything in a while, really. At least that I haven't been paying much attention because I've been busy with moving, but
yeah, whatever. Maybe his declaration on the war against Americans is a good look. I don't know.
He's gonna have to apologize for that. Trump's gonna have to talk to him and be like, hey, you gotta do something. And he pissed off Laura Loomer and all those other people were like, where can I donate money to you? And I don't know. He, like you said, he was acting like a woman. Like womanly behavior.
Yeah, it's
maybe just get off X for a few minutes. It's like, we know you own it, but
yeah, again, I don't even understand where he's, like I said, I don't know where he's coming from. I really don't, because there's so many ways he could have handled that better. You know,
maybe it's not, like I said, maybe it's the autism.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been a couple hours. It's been a great show, and thank you guys for. We had a good. It was a good show tonight, Sasha.
Yeah, it was.
And
sometimes it's nice to talk about politics. There hasn't been a lot of politics lately. That I've, like I said, I've been off work for a week and I've been moving, and so,
yeah, and I don't understand these people. Well, we got to unite to keep the Democrats out. We got to
unite about what?
We got to put these little differences behind us. I'm like, little difference? This is key to what America is. I mean, what are you talking about? How can you compromise?
So what is that supposed to mean? Like, okay, so if the Republicans want to ruin the country, then I'm just supposed to, because like you said, there's an R by the name, just go.
Yeah, well, some people where they get their income. So yeah, it's just a team sport.
Wait, how do people get there? Oh, for kissing the ass to the Republicans? Yeah,
of course, yeah, they're on the.
I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, so that's why we appreciate your support, guys, because no one's paying me to kiss the ass of the Republicans. So when they don't do dumb shit like this, I can call them out.
I feel like I don't have like a party really. I don't particularly like the Republicans, and I don't like the Democrats. But at least the Democrats once in a while will talk about healthcare or something. I don't even really hear the Republicans talk about that.
Yeah, Trump needs to do damage control quickly, and if he doesn't, I really lost interest in this administration even before it starts.
Me too. Like, let's just hope like that he can get gas prices down. Maybe he can do something for the economy, but it's not going to help anything long term. But we knew that. Like that guy said, we kind of knew it was going to be like that. But I thought we would have a little bit of time before.
Yeah, you think you have
like this happen.
A little bit of a honeymoon period here, you know, but.
Well, then you have to try to defend yourself with some of these people. It's like, yeah, I get it. We didn't have any good choices, really. Yeah. We already saw Trump, and he's better than
Kamala would have been horrible.
Yeah, no, can you imagine having to listen to her for the next 4 years? How awful that would have been. And it was nice to see her lose. So I don't regret Trump getting in. I just wish we had better choices. But at this point, I don't really think we have good choices. I don't think people care about the American people. Our government's just been looted. Everybody just wants what they can get off the backs of people like us that pay taxes or go to work. And then we're told we're lazy. And
oh, we got another one, Dylan. Thank you, Ramsey. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, too. Love the free speech platform. Been a fan for 10 years. Thank you. Yeah, it's great. And Musk and Vivek both have done great things. I really loved him. I was a huge
Have they?
supporter
What
of
has
him.
Vivek really done?
Yeah, but
At least
you know,
Elon Musk can say bought X, but now he's banning people on there. So I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't trust Vivek anymore for sure.
Well, I was always, really cheerlead to them. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
it's
So we've learned a lesson. We can't
I'm
trust politicians. They're all scum.
yeah, but they're not. Yeah, I was hoping they'd be a little different. It's
And he
just,
probably just did what he had to do so he could get in Trump's cabinet or do something for him.
mhm.
And if he wanted to run in 2028, which now I think is a lost cause.
No,
But people
Vivek.
have short memories though, so who knows? I could be wrong. And then, oh yeah, we love Vivek, even though he wanted all this
Well, I
like
mean, put it this way,
immigration.
you really fucked up if Nikki Haley's sounding better than you.
Yeah.
If Nikki Haley is fucking correcting you on immigration, you fucked up.
Well, I think she just said what she's another chameleon.
Yeah, I know.
So
But
she's
I
just
mean,
saying what, but hey, at least she was smart enough to say it.
yeah,
I mean, it's
I'll
like,
give
and
that.
everybody hated her.
Could you imagine if someone like, and I thank God that Kamala didn't get in. Could you imagine though Kamala, a pick, like part of her administration, went on X and declared war against America?
I mean, all the right would be mad.
I know.
I
It's
wonder
just,
what Con Inc. is saying about all this. I'm curious because they tend to just go along with whatever, and they're fine with big
I
business.
think they're saying, oh, well, we just all need to be friends and unite. We can't let us divide us.
Why? You don't give a shit about us. Like, where were they when all these books and stuff were being banned? Even Mark Dice did a video, and he was talking about Jared Taylor's books being banned and Kevin McDonald and how the right won't say shit about that, and they won't.
No.
Like they would, I mean, they're not really free speech, and they're fine with all this
Oh,
immigration.
hell, a lot of the Republicans want to make it illegal to criticize Israel.
Yeah.
So fuck you. And I mean, fuck you, not you, but I mean, the people that say that, don't tell me you're for free speech. And it's like, it's just unreal. But,
It is.
Yeah. So
But I guess
we'll get going here, but you guys, it's been a good show, and thank you for letting us
make
spend
sure
a
you
little
got
bit.
everything before we go.
I think I do, and but if I
Let me
missed
check.
anyone, we'll get it.
Got everything.
I think I got everything. Do you see it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get going here, and I'll see you tomorrow, Sasha.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Love you all. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.